circle from all that's stressed. We trust the guardians, trust the guides, trust the open and what's inside. When the moon is high, it's time to fly. Open your mind, let it all unwind. Let's get disenraged, time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged. When you feel like you've had enough and the week was busy and tough, you need a break, you need some fun. You need to take time from the run. We'll blow your mind. We're just in time. Seek and ye shall find. Time to unwind. Let's get disenraged. Time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged. Aliens, ghosts, spirits and shadows, spirituality, ultra reality, the Bible, the pagans, all the conspiracies, tarot, astrology, and alternate history. Open your heart to other possibilities and get disenraged. Time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged, 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 disenraged.
What up? Happy Tuesday, Jennifer. How are you?
Hello, happy Tuesday, Karlyn. I'm good.
Guess what? I've got something you're really gonna love that we watched on our 5 p.m. stream today, and I think you're really gonna like it. And we were watching a presentation about white supremacy.
Oh, good.
Yep. And so,
Oh, it's like the new racism or something. The new race terms. Okay, I saw the title.
Yep, we learned a lot today about all the things that white people have available to them and all that stuff. And so I just thought,
just white people.
Well, in this case, yes, explicitly white people. And I thought, we all agreed that you need to see this clip and have a reaction to this, and we just think you're gonna love it. So, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you paying attention? Are you listening closely?
Right, I'm ready. Let's do it. Okay,
let's do it.
Absolutely. And just to say, I mean, I found the chapter on time, time as a tool of racializing power, playing a key role in reproducing racial capitalism, and this idea of white time, and therefore, for a new history. I thought that was really, really fascinating. And also, as you kind of said, that the dominant account of racism that exists already comprises its end, so that it's not just a time in the past, but it was like a mistake or something, an overreach or a diversion. And all of that was really, really interesting.
Yeah, it was all really interesting. We have white people time, Jennifer. We have white time now.
Time.
White time.
Do you know, that sounds like a scent of a hand soap. White time.
It does sound like that, but it would be WHYTE with like some like frilly white flower, like the white one, the what is that called? The thing that the filler flower in every bouquet, the little white
baby's breath.
Yes.
Well, in time is THY. I mean,
exactly. Everything is spelled funny. So, yep, white. We have white time now. How do you feel about the revelation that we have white time?
That time is a tool of capitalism. Obviously.
Yep. Punching the time clock, timing in and out.
They're not wrong. going to the school schedule when we have, of course, daylight savings and all of that. I mean, it is a tool to make us, punch that clock, work harder, and not connect to nature, like is the topic of tonight's show. But
yeah. I think tonight's show is probably going to be more productive. But I had to show you that off the bat because I was we were like Jennifer's going to be so fucking happy.
Time is real, but it's white.
Time is real, but it is controlled by white people. White people. Well, another interesting thing happened on the stream today, Jennifer, in that my stalker friend, who watches every single thing that I do while pretending, of course, that she doesn't, and because she doesn't do anything.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So she came into the chat today, and do you know what the latest talking point against me is? That I had a DEI pixie haircut when I was a Democrat, and I only grew out my hair when I changed political parties as a rebrand.
Can we focus on something important? Like, why are they obsessed with your
I don't know.
hair?
I don't know, but it gave me an interesting opportunity, and I thought you would appreciate this too, because there wasn't once a time when I did have long hair as a Democrat, but it was like 20 years ago, and so I instantly went back to my Facebook page. And I found a picture of me both with long hair and with a pixie cut, because I took them on the same day when I cut all my hair off. And I got to show you this because I have to say, Jennifer, I feel pretty proud of myself. I feel like I haven't really aged all that much in the 20 years since that photo has been taken.
Look at you.
But I did once have long hair as a Democrat. I don't know how that was possible. And then I cut it all off, and I got that was a good pixie cut. You have to admit, I look good.
That is very cute.
Yeah.
That's very cute. Yeah, I have never had hair shorter than, I think the shortest I had, it was about to my jawline.
Really?
And I grew it out immediately. I've never had short hair, but that was really cute. So they're obsessing about the politics changing your hairstyle. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently I never had a short hair or a long hairstyle as a Democrat, which is just provably wrong.
Yeah.
But, Democrats don't have long hair. I love short hair, though. Short hair is like, well, I have a love-hate relationship with short hair. On one hand, it's so nice in the summer. I loved having a shaved head. I fucking loved it. It was so nice. It was
I've
so
heard
cool.
that it's great. I heard that like a shower feels amazing.
Oh, it's so good. I loved it so much. But you do look like a lesbian, and so sometimes sacrifices have to be made. And my husband did ask me to grow. My husband gave me many years with a shaved head, and then he said, "Karlyn, can you grow your hair out?" And I said, "Yeah, okay. I'll for you, Victor. I'll grow my hair out." Also, I kind of got sick of getting it cut. To be honest,
he can pull it better when it's longer.
Well, that is a benefit for sure. But it's like, it's so much more convenient now that like I don't even go to I have so many split ends just because I'm like, I don't need to get my hair cut. It's fine. It can just grow. It like let it be free. Let it be free to do whatever it wants to do. I don't have to go get my hair did. I don't need to impress anyone. I can just dry shampoo that shit and just be dry shampoo is like the best invention that's ever been invented. Oh my God.
I've never tried it. I'm scared of it.
Oh, it's so, well, see, because I dyed my hair a whole bunch of rainbow colors like many years ago, and the stylist was like, if you use dry shampoo, it'll last longer. And I was like, really? That shit actually works? But yes, dry shampoo.
Nice.
Very
cool. Well, remember that time I cut my bangs and it was kind of catastrophic?
Yeah.
Well, I decided a few weeks later to go ahead and just cut all of my hair. So I did this myself. I think it looks pretty cute. I think it came out nice.
Hey, as long as you like it. I mean, like bangs are the other thing. It's like if you don't cut your own bangs, it's like you have to go get your bangs cut like every couple of weeks. This is the most giant pain in the ass ever. But I think your hair looks great.
Thank you. And I'm not going to go to the hairstylist. I mean, I only get little tiny trims because curly hair is very forgiving. So you don't have to do big, huge styling stuff, and just find a nice curly, like curl cream or a calming cream that works well with you. And that's all you need. And I can't curl it. I don't even own a blow dryer. It's just, I don't have a curling iron anymore because it does what it wants. So I figured I'll just throw some layers in it. I think I'm happy, But honestly, the true test about hair to find out if you're a Democrat is if you shave your armpits or not.
Well, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that.
I know. Well, a lot of them don't. The Democrats.
Well, I mean, so I think
the liberals, the socialists, especially.
I don't even mind the armpit stuff as much because, like, I can kind of understand that it's annoying, it's a pain in the ass. But it's like the people that I don't get are the ones who like don't shave their legs, I guess, ever. And not only don't they, like, listen, like women all have moments. We all have moments where we don't shave our legs and we have to wear pants and it's just the way it goes. Okay,
the
that's
winter
fine.
especially, it's like I don't, once a week you're good.
I'm not saying that, like, you know, whatever, but like I'm talking about the people who don't shave their armpits, don't shave their legs, and just like show that shit off, and they're like, it's like, you know, it's like, come on, like I don't need to see that. I don't need to see your legs if you're not. I don't need to see that. Like, at least wear pants or leggings or something like that. I get it. It's a pain in the ass, but
and the hairs poke through sometimes, depending on how thin the leggings
yeah,
are.
It's a nightmare. Like hair politics. Hair politics.
It's true, and by what hair dye color you use, and the whole nine.
Oh yeah, they've been ragging on me for dyeing my hair red. I need to dye my hair again. My hair has gotten less red lately.
Yeah, I've
so
noticed.
We need to dye that.
It's dulled. We need to make it vibrant again, darling.
Yeah, and it also depends on the lighting. And like my hair basically looks every different color. You know, I can't control it. It does whatever it wants. I don't ask questions.
Yeah.
So we're doing paganism tonight, animism.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really excited about this. And I also have a little Pisces update before we get into it that's actually related to this.
What?
I need your advice, Jennifer. I need your advice. Okay. I need a Pisces advice.
Ooh.
Because I thought the Pisces problem went away. I thought like everything was quiet for a while.
Oh, they do that. Then they show back up, the little bastards. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? This one has shown back up, and he's being a Pisces. He's being a Pisces. So this is, well, he was formerly Pisces number 3 because he wasn't really saying anything for a while. And now the other 2 Pisces aren't really saying anything. And so now he's working see, this is what I think it is. He was jealous that he wasn't Pisces number 1. And now he's doing everything he can to be as annoying as fucking possible just to become Pisces number 1. And so I've been in these Twitter spaces with these men who are like, anti-Abrahamic religion, and they've been talking about how Christianity is a Jewish psyop and all that stuff, but some of them are like really into this idea of paganism, and it's actually kind of interesting to hear them talk about it because they don't know shit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but they're so passionate about it and they're so kind of like curious about it, and you can tell like they want to play with it a little bit. Oh, yeah. Look at the dog.
I do. I got Anya. She came up to burp right in my face. That was
good dog. See, no
idea.
idea she's on the internet right now. No idea what the internet is. Doesn't care. Has no worries. See, this is why dogs are great.
She's after my lip gloss. She's got this like obsession with my lip gloss and any chapstick and things and lotion. As soon as I put lotion on my hands, both of them want to lick my hands.
Yeah,
you're weird. You have issues. That's why you're mine. Okay, down you go. Down you go, baby.
So I've been in these Twitter spaces almost every night with these guys that are arguing with Christians and like talking about
paganism, but they're talking about it, but they're not researching it, or they just
they have some sense that like they don't want an Abrahamic religion, and some of them are like, what do we replace it with? And they're like, well, let's just go back to the old religion, which is paganism. I mean, like it's like the first religion, and so it's like they kind of like they have interest in it, but it's kind of like I think they're still kind of like they're new. It's like they're new. You've been
searching.
They're searching. They're investigating. They're talking amongst themselves. They're all men on these calls, so it's fascinating just to hear them talk amongst themselves and the psychology of. We talked about this last week, where they're like men. It's like men have such a distinct environment when they're amongst themselves and left to their own devices. And so I've been listening to these spaces, and it's been fascinating. So I'm actually kind of interested. I'm like really interested in the videos we're going to watch tonight because I think it's kind of like around that idea, and I want to learn more about this. But do you know what formerly Pisces number 3 did, who's now becoming Pisces number 1, which is, of course, big tech. Always. Of course it was.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And he's come back. Like kind of unwillingly, but he's also tried to provoke it a couple times. So I think that he got jealous when I was on Adam's show and blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. So he is one of the co-hosts. This is such a fucking petty Pisces thing. And you can tell because he's all in his feelings about it. So he is a co-host on these Twitter spaces, but he usually doesn't talk. Like usually it's just listening to other people, but he has the power to like kick people out of the spaces. And so Big Tech got angry at me the other night. For something, I don't even know what exactly I did, But he has decided that I'm not allowed to go to these Twitter spaces anymore, and he has kicked me out of the spaces the last 2 nights. And then he blocked me on Twitter when I wasn't even talking to him or engaging with him. I'm like, bro, could you be any more fucking Pisces than this? Kind of like you can't be in my Twitter space, even though you're not saying anything. You're just I'm like, bro, come on.
They're so melodramatic. I own this, and I'm rubbing my scent all over it. You can't have any.
You can't have it. And you know what? You know what's the funny thing about it is like I've pulled tarot cards on him every once in a while, and I've got a very distinct opinion about what I think is going on with him regarding me. And I've never been sure I was right about it. I've never been like more like I was always kind of like, is that real? Like, does it? Because I kind of think between you, me, and the internet, I kind of think he thinks that I have some power over him or some way to control him or something, or that I'm putting a spell on him or something. I think he thinks that like I'm doing some fucking energy thing and I'm controlling him. And that no, he's not. He's a former Christian, but he understands the energy stuff. And I think he thinks I have some power over him where I'm like, ooh.
That is such male insecurity. Do you know how many men? I never get this question asked to me by women. It's always men.
Yeah.
Did you put a hex on me or spell on me? Did you do some energy where? And I'm like, wait a minute, why are you blaming me? Because your life is in a total upheaval. You think I did that? Like, I believe in karma, buddy. I would never.
Well, I kind of feel the same thing. Now, the reason I think this is I may have threatened to at one point when we were arguing one time where I was like, I'm way better at this energy shit than you are, asshole. And he was threatening me. He was threatening me, so I threatened him back. And I think I may have planted a seed where he may now think that I'm fucking with him when I'm actually not. I'm like, no, you're actually doing this to yourself. But I'm like, I've never been so sure that my read on him is right than when he kicked me out of those Twitter spaces for no good reason. I was like, you just showed your hand so gloriously. I can't even. So
my favorite one is when people would say they don't believe in witchcraft. They don't believe in it. And then they're like, did you put a spell on me? I'm like, oh, I thought you didn't believe in that.
Yeah, exactly. Like those things only work if you believe they do, darling.
Sure. Well, actually, they work if I believe I'm doing it right or that I believe it's working. It'll work in some way, shape, or form.
But have you ever had that experience with like a Pisces though, where they have like these like petty little, I mean, I just don't know. I need Pisces. Like, how do I, because I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, maybe I should just cut it off entirely and just fucking ignore him. I think that might be the best thing to do. I don't know.
I'm more curious about why you're hanging on to it. I mean, the thing about Pisces that's
a good question.
Yeah. The thing about Pisces is they're very, very snuggly and endearing when they want to be. And
true.
You just want a piece of that back. And they know it. And so in the whole fishing thing is such a good analogy with them because they will bait you. They're both the fisherman and the fish.
My fucking God. Oh my, he did this to me in that space. So I have only twice in that space actually gone up to speak. And one of the times I had a question for someone else in the space that I'm like friendly with, and we're doing an interview on Twitter tomorrow. And like, I just had a question for him and he was on the stage. So I was like, I'm just going to go up and ask it. So Big Tech. And the reason I know this is he was streaming this live on his channel. I found out about it later. Big Tech was also on the stage at that point. And so he was annoyed that I came up onto the stage, and then he made sure to say something about communism because he was trying to bait me into fucking fighting with him. And then I didn't take the bait because I was like, as soon as he said the word communism, I was like, I totally know what you're doing, asshole. I'm not even here to talk to you. Calm down.
Yep, they love that shit. They're so obvious about it. It's like they don't even fucking try. They're so obvious about it. But God. Yeah, so but it's the sweet cuddly part of them that we kind of get addicted to. It's very easy to get addicted to a Pisces, at least for some signs, not everybody. But then they start playing this game and it's like, well, how come you're still hanging on? So maybe don't just.
No, I mean, that's a fair question. I've always wanted to like level things out with him because like we are in the same social circles. And like, I do legitimately like Adam Green, who's one of his friends. And I want to do more shows with Adam Green and stuff like that. And so my thought was, can we just stop? Can we just be civil? Do we really have to do this thing of kicking someone out of a Twitter space when I'm just sitting there listening and playing a video game on my phone? Really? You can't stand to be in the same Twitter space as me? You're that worked up about me in your head that this is like, I mean, seriously? So,
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
think about what it would take for you to just automatically boot somebody. Either you hate them that much or they
Well,
trigger
yeah.
you that much, you know, so you got to relate to it the best way you can. And, you know, just stop poking the bear, leave him alone. He'll, you know, and he'll
I'm
simmer
not
down.
even doing anything to him. He's the one doing it to me. It's like he's the one talking about me and doing all and like poking at me and trying to say communism when I'm not even there to talk to him. I'm there to talk to someone else.
Let's
And
get
it's like,
started.
but I, you know,
Okay,
like,
dude.
I can't help but respond, Jennifer. I have like very little like
That's how he gets you. 'cause
I
he
fucking
knows
know
that.
it. This is the fucking Pisces thing. I'm like, fuck all of you. Fuck you. Seriously.
Do you know,
Come on.
I went through a Pisces phase, as you know, but before that, I went through a Cancer phase.
Oh, God.
First of all, my mother is a Cancer, and I'm Capricorn. So Cancers and Capricorns are dichotomies. We're 6 months apart, so we're actually very compatible. But there are certain traits that make me insane, and every single guy I dated for like, I don't even know, like 7 or 8 years was a Cancer. Like I could smell them. I'm like, oh, let me go talk to him. He's probably going to ruin my life because he's a Cancer. Every single fucking one of them. And one, two, three, four, 3 of the 4. Oh no, I can't remember. I want to say they were also drummers. Like half of them are drummers too.
Always fucking
half.
musicians. I understand this. Okay.
And
yeah,
I'm a musician, or I was a musician. I mean, I don't play anymore professionally, but I did. And as I was, you know, getting into that, first of all, who doesn't love a guitar player or a drummer or a bass musician?
I almost married a drummer. Okay, I completely
Uh-huh.
understand. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's
Back
a
in the day.
thing. It starts when you're a
It's
chick,
hot.
you're a little baby chick, and you start getting the fangirl thing. And then it just, as soon as you get the chance to meet a real one, you know, or whatever, some open stage thing. And then it got even worse when I started playing open stages. And like a guy would come up and talk to me or buy me a drink, and I'd be like, I like you. Nope, that's bad. Are you a Cancer?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a Cancer. Okay, go away.
Anytime I meet anyone new now, I'd be like, I need to do your astrological chart and make sure there's no Pisces anywhere in the vicinity. Like, can we just? I was like, I cannot do with this emotionality. I can't.
So Grandma Nay says she's a Cancer. I love Grandma Nay. So Cancer in every zodiac sign, just to
Reagan's
clarify.
also a Cancer.
Yeah, yeah. There are high, what do we call high zodiac signs and low. There's high aspects and low aspects. So if you're exhibiting the positive or higher aspects of your sign, then you're being really healthy in that sign. When you're exhibiting the low aspects of that sign, like you're experiencing lower Pisces behavior right now, that's the negative aspect of those signs. The other thing is there are differences between male Cancers or male any zodiac sign and female. They're all very different. Like I'm a Capricorn woman. I love other Capricorn women. Capricorn men are fine, but they tend to be a little soft. Capricorn women are very aggressive compared to the men of the sign usually. Again, there's always exceptions. So that's just to clarify. We're not picking on anybody.
No, everything has good and bad except for Aries, which is all good and perfect and number one and amazing and awesome and everything good. And I never shout or demand it be all about me, and I'm never selfish, and
looking for something to gag myself with.
And I never instigate problems on the internet. Oh man. So the Pisces advice is I need to figure out how to just like let it go and just like and hopefully he stops with the bullshit.
Well, the thing about Aries is you're very obsessive, and
I can't fucking not respond. It's just because also the whole thing is just like fascinating to me from an energetic level.
Yeah.
Just because like for a while, like I was trying to get reads on that situation for a while. And again, like every time I'm like, is that really what's going on? Like he thinks I'm going to control him. He thinks I've got like some fucking spell on him or something like that. And now I'm almost positive I'm right. And so now I'm like, holy shit, I was right all along. Now this is even more interesting to me. What else can I do?
Well, as soon as he thinks you're putting a spell on him, he has relinquished control.
Yeah.
Because he is now acknowledging that you have power over him through witchcraft.
He does not want that at all. Because he does not want that at all.
Which is
and
also...
I'm not even doing anything.
Oh, yay, Chad's a Capricorn. Yeah. Oh, now we're getting everybody's zodiac signs. Sagittarius, yay. Well, the thing is with, your Aries fire, you don't want to let it go. You want it, but you
don't
also
wanna
are
let it
very
go.
problem-solving oriented. And you are looking at this as it is the burr under your saddle. It's the irritant that you can't get it off. You know, it's that. Have you ever had like an experience where you have a stray hair stuck to the back of your shirt?
Oh yeah.
And every time you move your arm, you feel it. And you're like,
Yeah.
and like you're trying to like, wait a minute, get it off. That's him.
Yes, that's actually a really good descriptor. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're fine. All of a sudden, you move your arm somewhere, and you're like, what? And so you have to grab one of these metaphorically and energetically. Okay, little back
A
scratcher,
back scratcher.
and just get it off. Just be gone. You are not important enough to bother me, you little back hair.
But he's not letting me be in the Twitter spaces I want to be in. And it's not fucking fair. It's not fair. I was enjoying these Twitter spaces, and now he's being a dick and kicking me out.
And he's running
Not
all
fair.
of them or some of them?
Well, he comes in like intermittently. Like there's a whole bunch of people that co-host, so I can conceivably be in these spaces when he's not there, and then like hopefully he just cuts it out. Like I don't really understand why I can't just listen to a Twitter space. He's not even talking most of the time.
Go under a sock account. Don't worry about it. Like
I know that's kind of like what I've thought, but then
Yeah.
I have to be on that sock account on my phone, and like I want to be on my account on the phone. And it's not fucking fair, and it's not fucking cool.
Well, especially if it's sort of a public forum and he's not exactly running it, I guess, or is he hosting it?
Well, he's like a co-host of it.
Oh, okay. So he's just generally being a dick, is what he's
just being a fucking dick because he thinks I put a spell on him or have some control over him or something, and he's showing me. He's showing me by not letting me listen on the Twitter space.
Well, you know, he's telling you are under his skin as well, and I think that is hilarious.
I didn't realize, actually. I really didn't honestly realize, and I'm kind of not upset about the situation, if I'm being
very amusing.
I'm like, really? Tell me more by kicking me out of a Twitter space for no reason. Tell me more, Pisces.
Oh, do I upset you?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Why might that be? I thought you were just manipulating me.
Oh, now you're afraid I'm manipulating you? He's gotten so inside his head, now he's got you in control.
It's so crazy. Don't ever work yourself up into a tizzy. Like, this is what happens. It's so weird. It's like you convince yourself that someone is doing something to you that they are not doing at all. You're doing it. You're literally doing it. It's a good lesson. Anytime you're in a headspace where you feel like you can't move, you're probably doing it to yourself.
Have you ever? I've referenced this before. I'll probably reference it again. It's an excellent example about getting stuck in your head. It is one of my all-time favorite Shel Silverstein poems called "The Bagpipe Didn't Say No."
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that?
I think I've heard of it, but I don't remember it.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember if it was in The Light in the Attic or Where the Sidewalk Ends. I had both those books. I read them to death. I have half of the friggin' poem still memorized. But it's about this turtle who finds a bagpipe on the beach. And he falls in love with it. And he starts talking to it. And the bagpipe doesn't say no. He's like, hello, sweet, dear, my sweetheart, and the bagpipe doesn't say no. Will you go out and watch sunsets and spend your life? And then the bagpipe didn't say no. And then he goes to embrace the bagpipe and it goes, and it scares him. And he's like, oh no, did I do something wrong? Well, the bagpipe didn't say no. Well, oh God, did I, are we not, do you no longer want to be with me? Have we ruined our life, dear? And the bagpipe didn't say no. And this poor little turtle goes through this entire relationship in his own head with a fucking bagpipe, not knowing any better. And this is what we do. We spin ourselves up and then we spin ourselves down. We spin ourselves back up again because the bagpipe didn't say no. You're talking to a bagpipe. Do better.
That's crazy. That's a great story, though. All right. Thank you for the advice on the Pisces, Jennifer. I appreciate it. It's been very insightful since you have more experience with these beings than I do.
Anyway. Well, I wouldn't say I have more experience with. Well, if you're talking about Pisces, I know.
I never dated a Pisces, though. I never have been in a relationship.
And
with
my very best friend for years, and the love of my life for like 12 years until I went nope, done. But yeah, it's tough with them. They're very frustrating, but they're very wonderful too, and it's very hard. That's why they're flippy.
Are they like? Do they have like does it feel like multiple personality disorder sometimes?
Oh, so much.
Yeah, because that's what I always thought about him, and I said this, I think it pissed him off. But now I quite frankly don't care because you're blocking me from the Twitter Spaces, asshole. Like, but I always felt like that. Like he had this side that was like actually like really cool and really nice, and like I really appreciated. And then he had this other. It's like it was the fucking King of Cups versus the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is an asshole, and I don't like the King of Swords, and he's a dick, and he's a control freak, and
well,
he's not
challenging,
fun.
and as an Aries, you wouldn't like that for sure.
Yeah, well, that's true. I much prefer the King of Cups side, but that's like, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, who the fuck are you?
Well,
anyway,
it depends on the deck, but some in interpretive energy that I'm feeling is he comes bringing false offerings when really he's bringing a challenge.
Real.
That's what I got from those two cards.
Real.
Just spontaneous energy reading there.
No, you're more psychic than I am, so I'll take it.
North Node, baby.
Yeah, for real. Do you have any other psychic messages about this situation for me, Jennifer?
I'm hearing that you need to overcome this temptation because you're getting little tests and you're failing every single one of them. And everyone's laughing at you.
That's probably true. Because he keeps throwing fucking energy at me. I throw it right back at him, except I do it more overtly than he does.
Mm-hmm.
And I should just stop. And I know it too. I fucking know it, but I can't help myself.
Well, it's your nature. You're fighting your nature. And I would recommend, I don't know what martial art it is, but if someone throws a knife, instead of catching it and throwing it back, you just avoid.
Yeah.
And let it hit the wall behind you, and then you move on. And I feel like this is a lesson because you have toughened up your skin so much. I know it's no fun, but I feel like this is the next evolution for your tough skin to evolve into the next step that you're taking career-wise. You're getting little tiny tests. They're just poking at you. They're not trying to hurt you. They're not going to take you down. They're not going to make you cry. They're just pissing you off.
They are pissing me off. That's completely true. It is pissing me off. And it's distracting. And it's not fair.
Is it a keto, Chad, where you just like, and it just, and then it's like the monk walks closer to the guy throwing the knives or shooting the gun, and he's just dodging everything, and until it gets him, he's like, whoo, got you. Yeah.
Maybe. All right. Message received, Spirit. I get it. Fine. Whatever.
Also, what is your goal with this person?
I just don't want there to be. I just want everything to be nice. I just don't want. I just want to deal with bullshit. That's all. That's literally.
Then avoid the daggers, and you avoid the bullshit.
That's all. I don't think I'm asking too much.
Nope, but you have to do your part too, and you will.
Out of alignment, Pisces have subconscious things that come through that cause mental problems. Since Pisces rules the subconscious, Gemini rules psychological issues, though, both mutable signs.
Oh, yeah, mutables. Those are always fun. And that's just the other thing with Gemini, too. And that's the thing that makes me insane with them is they often, they're amazingly stable, and all of a sudden they're unstable, and then they're stable, and then they're unstable.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God.
So I don't have to deal with many Gemini. Thank God. And I don't think I want to. I'm afraid of Gemini. I don't want them in my life. I don't want Scorpio in my life. Scorpio can stay the fuck away. Well, I mean, Scorpios are great in bed, but but beyond that, like I'm just untrustworthy of the entire thing. I don't know.
Geminis, I have to say, they're so much fun to talk to. They're so interesting, and they're really fun to party with. They're fun to hang with. And Melinda here is a Gemini, and her husband's a Pisces. Oh, you're going through it.
Yo, Melinda. Anyway. All right. Well, that was fun with astrology. Should we move over to paganism now?
Yes, we shall. I'm trying to I have this big icon over my little, you know how you get your little thumbnail of yourself like in StreamYard?
Yeah.
I have a big microphone icon over it, and I don't know how to get rid of it. It's pissing me off. Sorry, that was a total aside. Anyway, all right. So the first video. So we wanted to get into what is the first religion. Now, understand, religion was not a thing until we got into monotheism. Then they gave it a name and they called it religion. Before that, it was spirituality or a belief system. And so they have tried to, you went right to was that at the beginning of this video? I don't remember that. Oh,
yeah.
Cool. So this is a chart of all the religions and how they relate to each other, what branched off of what, leading all the way back to what we're talking about tonight, which is animism. Animism.
Where's the start of the chart?
Very bottom in the brown is animism, and then it branches upwards.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so it starts down here at the bottom, and then it goes up and out. All these different branches. That's cool.
Yeah.
Where's Christianity?
There's probably more than one form in there.
Where's
But-
oh, Nazi? Well, no, that's not. That wasn't the Nazi sign back then, though, right? That was something else.
I can't really see it. It's too small for me.
That's a Nazi sign. That's a swastika right
No,
there.
swastika
but I don't think
is
it's for
Hindu.
Nazi.
No, it's for Hindu, probably. So,
man.
what in
I
my
want to watch
research,
a whole video on this chart.
oh, there's a guy who did, and I almost found it, but it's all like 2 fucking hours long. Maybe
Oh,
we'll,
Judaism, right there. Boom.
yeah. Well, maybe we'll look at it another time where he takes you through how all the religions branch off of each other and relate. He goes through everything: Islam, Judaism, Christianity, Mormonism, spirituality, paganism, all the stuff. But it was 2 hours long, and I'm like, that wasn't the topic tonight, but maybe another time. It was a really good video, though. So animism, this first little intro video, because we have 2 tonight. This one is just a very analytical, non-encouraging, not skeptical, but not critical, and just talking about what it is and where some of the theories for it came from, where the word for it came from. When we talk about the first religion, or let's just say that for lack of a better term, I like to say more belief system or spirituality, we're talking about cavemen. We're talking about the first humans. When you are a brand new little human and you have a completely open, wild world in front of you, and you don't understand how any of it works, you're just traveling and eating and fucking and making babies and telling each other stories, making art in your caves, you have to come up with a way to explain your reality. And that's what animism is. That is where everything started from. And in it, you will find it will in every religion that's out today, all the new kids, all the new religions. And when I say new, I mean the last 1,000 years, because in the scope of humanity, that's new. You will find pieces of animism in everything. But this started the need for spirit, the desire to worship, and the desire to connect. But it all comes from connection. And I won't spoil it. The second video is way more fun and more cool, but I thought this was a nice little intro to get our brains ready.
All right. Sounds good. It's real short. Let's take a listen.
Ago, I saw this infographic making its rounds on Twitter: a sprawling family tree of the world's religions, stemming out of a primordial religion called animism. But what is animism, and is it valid to portray it as the earliest religion? Animism is rooted in the Latin word anima, which means soul or spirit, among other things. And animism does have a lot to do with spirits. The dictionary definition says the attribution of a soul to inanimate objects and natural phenomena, and the belief in a supernatural power that organizes and animates the material universe.
Oh.
But this isn't the whole story. Animism is often used as a synonym for traditional indigenous religions. It's associated with shamans, ancestral spirits, religious traditions that are often seen as the inverse of big organized religions with texts, institutions, and doctrine. If you check out the CIA World Factbook, you'll see countries cited.
Even like when you just start thinking about stuff like this and you look at a chart like that, I don't know how people can look at the organized religions and not go, that is purely designed as a control mechanism. Like, look at the greater context that this exists in. Look where all these ideas came from. They're trying to control you.
Yeah. Well, it's all about money and power at the end of the day, you know.
Mm-hmm. True. Oh.
As having a certain percentage of their population as being animist: Burkina Faso, Burma, Cameroon, Guinea-Bissau. So we're seeing 2 possibly interrelated ways of using animism. First, as a way to describe modern indigenous religions, as well as calling animism the earliest religion. So what's going on here? The 19th century English anthropologist E.B. Tylor would have loved this infographic because it basically follows his theory that animism was the fundamental form of religion. Back in the late 1800s and early 1900s, European anthropologists were obsessed with discovering the most primitive religion. And from their colonialist perspective, they based their arguments on data from the indigenous cultures of Australia, Africa, Oceania, and the Americas. which they viewed as the primitive cultures of the world. Yeah, we'll touch on European imperialism in a bit, so stay tuned. Using
come
data
on.
from contemporary indigenous cultures, Tyler crafted a two-part theory of animism. First, the belief in souls or spirits. To illustrate how this might have arose in early humans, Tyler walked his readers through a thought experiment. Imagine an ancient human dreaming of a dead relative. Tyler argued that they would have woken up and assumed that the dream proved the existence of human souls surviving after death, that the dead relative actually visited them, or it proved the ability of the human soul to leave the body and travel to other places. He wrote, even in healthy waking life, the savage or barbarian has never learned to make that rigid distinction between subjective and objective, between imagination and reality. So this belief in spirits, according to Tyler, was rooted in an ancient mistake or failure to distinguish between dreams and reality. Second, Tyler argued that animism involved primitive humanity's tendency to falsely assume that inanimate objects were alive. Tyler's theory of animism was basically an evolutionary theory of religion. According to him, animism is the first stage in an evolutionary tree of increasing cultural complexity. Societies first graduate to polytheism, then to monotheism, before reaching the pinnacle of cultural development, scientific rationalism. For him, animism survives in modern religions as a remnant of former evolutionary development, kind of like a primitive vestigial organ sticking around in modern society. In fact, Darwin himself was a fan of Tyler. He even wrote a letter to Tyler saying how much he loved the evolutionary model of religion. Now, modern scholars have largely rejected Tyler's version of animism because of its ethnocentrism and evolutionism. First, Tyler's theories are untestable. As the scholar of religion Russell McCutcheon says, we can't invent a time machine and interview Paleolithic humans when they wake up from sleep. So, lacking that evidence, Tyler relied on speculation and using data from contemporary indigenous cultures. Evidence like reports from European travelers, and especially a book on Zulu religion written by an Anglican missionary. But this book was written during his lifetime, a time of European Christian proselytizing in South Africa. Traditional African religious communities were responding to colonialism, sometimes adapting their religious beliefs to Christianity, sometimes struggling against them. So a lot of Tyler's data was evidence of modern religious conflicts during an era of colonialism, not evidence of the origins of religion. As I mentioned in my Intro to Indigenous Religions video, studying contemporary indigenous religion does not equal studying religion as it was 100,000 years ago. Religions and cultures change, so if you want to study Paleolithic cultures, you better rely on Paleolithic evidence using the tools of archaeology. The second problem with the evolution of religions theory is that it's overgeneralized. It assumes that all cultures progress through the same path of development, but you look around the world and you see that cultural change is much more complicated than that. You had societies like the Roman Empire that was relatively advanced both technologically and scientifically, and was overwhelmingly polytheistic, which Tyler called a religion characteristic of low races. Same with China. Very technologically advanced throughout its history, and very different from the Christian monotheism of 19th century Europe. Tyler was making an ethnocentric value judgment based on what he considered was advanced. He argued that these tribes were cognitively underdeveloped and that they were making childlike mistakes when they ascribed personality to objects or viewed dreams as supernatural visions. But modern people still have near-death experiences, visions, or dreams, and see these experiences as supernatural events. Now, Tyler would call these experiences primitive survivals, but I just call them human. These so-called enchanted beliefs and practices never went away. In fact, the scholar Bruno Latour wrote that it's not amazing that there are people who still believe in animism, but that we're mad enough to think that these beliefs have disappeared in the first place. So scholars have overwhelmingly rejected Tyler's evolution of religion theory, and they generally don't think of animism as the foundation of all religion. But many today still see the category animism not as a specific religion, but as a way of doing religion that is based on relationships with the material and natural world. A type of religion that sees personhood in non-human entities like landscape, objects, and natural phenomena. As the scholar of religion Graham Harvey argues, animism is religion in which the world is full of persons. only some of whom are human.
Huh,
We do
I
see
like
this a
that.
lot in contemporary indigenous religions in which the water and mountains are entities with whom we can communicate, like how the native Hawaiians view the volcano Mauna Kea as an elder sibling, or religions in which particular spirits or personalities can inhabit objects, like the Bois people in Burkina Faso, who believe that spirits inhabit masks. In fact, a lot of people today self-identify as animist, and religious communities in countries like Indonesia and Nigeria have even sought formal recognition as animists for legal representation in their countries. And even though Tyler would have called these cultures primitive cultures, these are modern religions that are diverse and have changed over time and are just as complex as other religious traditions. Now, having said all that, scholars do think animism is a useful theory explaining religious belief and practice in early humans. Anthropologists like Stuart Guthrie have argued that humans have evolved a cognitive bias toward animism, also called hyperactive agency detection. We've evolved to detect agency everywhere, even in inanimate objects, because for early humans trying to survive in the wild, it's much better to mistake a boulder for a bear than to miss the bear entirely and get eaten. But this is nothing like Tyler's version of animism, which involved belief in spiritual beings and making childish mistakes about reality. In Guthrie's words, this is more like a baseline tendency in humans to see the world as social, but extending that social.
Go ahead.
So what we're looking at is primitive people viewed everything as being alive. Everything was alive. And everything had a spirit. If I have a spirit, they viewed themselves as just part of everything else. It was just another creature, a tree, a rock, a flower, the ocean, a lake, another animal. Everything was is the same as them. It had a spirit, it had consciousness of some kind. And it wasn't until we went into more of the industrialized thinking of what did he say? Scientific rationalism is kind of where we are now. But it wasn't until we actually got to monotheism that they finally went, we rule the earth and it serves us, which turned into sort of the unhealthy mental state that we find ourselves in now. But then the scientific rationalism overrides spirituality, which is why we call ancient spirituality like this, or paganism, or even omniism, or any of that, woo.
Oh.
It can't be real because it's not science. Even though they're starting to prove things like the God particle and how, all the interesting experiments they do with energy particles that change their disbursement when you view them versus when you don't view them. Right. And things like that. So, I mean, they're proving that there is something going on. There is something happening in the energetic world. There are people who have done tests with, I'm not sure if is that radio signals. They measure the energy level or the aura, if you will, of trees. Trees communicate. They just started talking about it. I just watched a documentary on that recently. It's fascinating how an entire forest talks through its roots, and the mushrooms help them talk. I
bet the fucking mushrooms help them talk.
Not those mushrooms. But literally, like the fungus help the communication, the energy. They were able to measure an energetic communication from tree to tree through mushrooms in the ground and on the surface. But they're measuring tree root communication. They noticed that when a tree is being cut down, the other trees exhibit distress. There was a guy that did an experiment with plants where he had a plant in a room and he put like electrodes in the plants to register to monitor their energy. And when he just went up and went and cut a plant, the whole thing went, the needle, and he called it the plant scream. That it screamed when it got cut because it was like, it was alarmed. It felt itself being damaged. And so when he said to the plant, you have a dead leaf, I'm going to pull it off now, or I need to trim you because you're getting too overgrown, the plant would stay calm while he trimmed it. The needle wouldn't go so crazy.
Kidding.
Yeah. And so when people say, I talk to my plants, there's a reason for that. Like we instinctively, I think this is an old energy carryover from our primitive days. We instinctively know there's a connection with everything. And the other experiment that really fascinated me was he was in this, I don't know, it was a school or something, and he had his lab over here where he had his plants, and he took one and he put it in a different room all the way at the end of the hall and put a little electrode in it. And then he just started attacking. He burned it. He took a lighter and he burned the leaf of a plant. And he registered a scream, not from that plant, the plants around it, and also from the plant in the room down the hall.
Wow.
They all screamed with it.
That's it's like Midsummer. It's like the movie Midsummer, where if one of them's getting hurt, they all start screaming. And like when that one guy, like I won't talk about what happened to that guy, but he had a little bit of a fall, but he didn't.
Oh God!
Yeah, that was. And then everyone started screaming because he was screaming, and then they burned some guy alive, and then everyone was screaming because they were screaming. Yeah, it's like Midsummer, basically. I understand.
I'm glad that's what you can use to relate to it. That's slightly horrifying, but okay.
Listen, horror movies relate to everything. Horror movies are a window into our soul.
Well, that's why we write them. They are literally an expression of our subconscious. It's how you express your anxiety is in horror.
It's the shadow. Okay.
It totally is.
The shadow.
So anyway,
that's what we need to do a show on, is the shadow self.
Ooh.
And like dealing with that might be an intense show.
Yeah, that could be, but it might be good. I mean, everybody needs a little shadow work. Oh, we do.
True.
So, but anyway, I just kind of wanted to kind of talk about how there's like, that's animism, is you view everything as alive and connected with you as part of it. You're not the owner of it. You're not the manager of it, but you can help it. You can hurt it, because we do have a lot more autonomy than many of the other life forms around us. But religion then came in and went, God put man in control of the earth. So therefore we can do whatever we want to it. And I think that's why and I'm not a environmentalist or anything, but I do know strip mining and pollution when I see it. So, I mean, I think we lost our symbiosis with our home when we started believing in a higher deity that put us in charge. Mm-hmm. Just to say that with love.
With love.
I'm going to go use a little goddess room and let my dog out. I'll be right back.
All right.
Social network beyond humans to include landscape, animals, objects, and natural phenomena. So I'll admit that this infographic is pretty cool in what it tries to accomplish, showing the influence of different religions on each other over the course of history, but the trunk of the tree needs an asterisk. Animism is not primitive religion, and the evolution of species is a bad analogy for the development of religion. But animism can be a useful way to describe religions that see the world as full of agency and personhood, even in non-human entities. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Got it. All right. I still want a video about that chart. I'm going to be thinking about that chart. I don't care if that guy says that chart isn't accurate or not. I think that chart was great. Oh, Zoroastrianism. Well, we're definitely not talking about that. All right, well, Jennifer's got another video, but we're going to wait for her to come back and introduce it. Make sure you mount the like button, guys. We do DISENRAGE on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. This is a little show about spirituality. If you don't believe in this stuff, if you don't like the woo, that's okay. You don't have to be here. Yeah, we're going to do James Zoroastrianism. Yeah, Zoroastrianism. Exactly. Oh, James. Has anyone seen what James is doing lately? I have no idea. Oh, Jennifer's back. Excellent. I was making conversation, Jennifer.
Which you're good for. You're a talker.
I'm actually not, is the thing. I'm actually like very shy in real life, but.
To settle a bet in the chat, there was a poll. Who was late, you or me? I held it up tonight, guys. It was me. And notice I don't have my microphone, my beloved microphone, because StreamYard is still being a butt. And then at one point it cut my camera off, so we were having technical issues.
You know what? Time isn't real. Relax, everyone. Relax.
We exactly started when it was totally perfect.
We started when the universe opened and the stars aligned, and it said, I want you to start the show now.
Yeah.
It's true. All right, moving into our next video. Jennifer, can you introduce us to this video?
This is one of those CGI animated and I believe voiceover videos.
I didn't mean to show that. That was a mistake. Go ahead, though.
Still pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes into this is where the woo is loved, accepted, and expressed. And so we got sort of the analytical cranial introduction. Now we're getting into the fun part and really a deep dive into animism.
Cool.
Imagine waking up in a world where the rustling leaves whisper your name, the river hums ancient
Ooh.
songs as it flows, and the wind carries the memory of your ancestors. This isn't fantasy, it's the very real worldview held by millions of people across history and still today. It's called animism, and it may be the oldest belief system humanity has ever known, long before temples, before gods had names, before even the first words were etched into stone. There was this, the belief that everything around you is alive, that the world is not a dead stage for human action, but a living presence full of spirit and meaning. Animism isn't just a religion, it's a lens, a way of seeing the universe as brimming with soul. Trees, rocks, thunderstorms, animals, mountains, even the sun and moon, all carry spirit, intention, personality. To the animist, the world isn't a resource, it's a relationship. And that single shift in mindset changes everything. A mountain isn't conquered, it's respected. A hunt isn't sport, it's a dialogue. Fire isn't controlled, it's negotiated with. This belief system is so ancient, so embedded in our species' early memory, that it might actually be the default human spirituality, the one that came before all others. But why did our ancestors believe the world was alive? Were they wrong? Or did they know something we've forgotten? In this video, we're going to trace the incredible story of animism from the very beginning. From the flickering fires of Paleolithic tribes to the sacred rituals of modern-day shamans, we'll journey across continents, inside myths, and deep into the spirit of the natural world. We'll discover how this seemingly primitive belief quietly shaped the world's greatest religions and how its echoes still guide us today. You'll meet cultures who talk to rivers, who marry trees, who offer songs to stones and gifts to lightning. You'll hear myths where forests breathe and animals speak with wisdom. And most importantly, you'll begin to see your world differently, not as silent and inert, but as awake, watching, and full of story. So let's dive into the most ancient, most beautiful, and most misunderstood belief system in human history. This is not just about old traditions. This is about reconnecting with something we've always known, that we are not alone, that the world is alive. To understand where animism begins, we have to journey back tens of thousands of years, deep into the Paleolithic era, before cities, before writing, before even the concept of religion as we know it. Imagine early humans huddled around a fire, staring up at a sky scattered with stars they couldn't name, surrounded by forests full of sounds they didn't yet understand. In that raw, mysterious world, everything was alive. Not metaphorically, literally. The wind was a spirit, the sun was a living eye. The animals were not just meat, but messengers. To live in that world was to be surrounded by meaning, by agency, by presence. Animism likely emerged not as a structured belief system, but as a visceral response to wonder and survival. When you don't have scientific models or philosophical frameworks, the world reveals itself in feeling.
Okay,
A
pause.
tree creaked in the night, not as random
Go ahead.
So when and he was saying we don't have science and stuff to explain things, it's not, it's more than that. It's like when you don't have any distractions, like as we do now, when you are out, and I know a lot of you have gone camping. I grew up camping in the Rockies and hiking and everything. And when it's just you in the woods and a fire at night, your senses peak.
Mm-hmm.
And even during the daytime, it's like you feel, nature feels heavier, more present, you know, being, especially if you spend a lot of time in it, not just like doing a little lap around your local park, but like being out in the mountains or out in the country or whatever. You just, it's like your natural life force expands into the life forces around you. You just open up to it. That's why people say go touch grass, because that's like a little tiny part of being able to do that. These people knew nothing else but the wild. And to them, everything was alive because everything moved. Trees sway in a breeze. Everything makes noise, rustles, but they felt that in a visceral way, in a simplistic and powerful way.
Yeah, it makes sense. They were just more connected than we are now. Like we're connected to devices or things like that. We're not connected to like things that are just natural.
Right. Yeah. Just the act of there's something that I heard a psychiatrist say, maybe, but it's just that human beings are actually programmed to need the experience of wonder. That if we don't experience a little bit of wonder every day, we get more and more depressed. So just looking at a sunset, taking 5-10 minutes to breathe fresh air, if you can, if you're not in the middle of a terrible city, but just letting that, have a moment of looking at the stars or the moon, and just taking few minutes here and there, just to stop and look at something, smell the roses. That's where that phrase comes from. Feel that wonder, and you're touching our ancient spirits.
Cool.
Physics, but as a voice. A sudden storm wasn't just the climate, it was emotion, power, or warning. Every shadow could carry a presence. Every sound might be a sign. Early humans didn't just observe nature, they communicated with it. And nature, they believed, responded in kind. This mindset wasn't naive, it was deeply adaptive. By assigning spirit to natural forces, early humans could form relationships with their environment. That meant respect, caution, gratitude. To disrespect the river could mean drought. To honor the animal you hunted was to ensure the cycle of life continued. These were not quaint traditions. They were strategies for survival encoded in myth, ritual, and storytelling. Evidence of this belief system lies in the world's oldest art. The cave paintings in Lascaux and Chauvet, haunting, graceful images of bison, horses, deer, were not decorative. They were sacred. To draw a creature was to invoke its presence. The walls of those caves were altars, not galleries. This wasn't art for humans. It was communication with the animal spirit world. The act of painting was itself a form of ritual, a silent prayer, a moment of contact. From this sacred connection came the shaman, the one who could cross the boundary between the visible and invisible. The shaman was not a priest of doctrine, but a traveler between realms, using trance, rhythm, and vision to speak with the spirits. These early spiritual leaders were found in nearly every early society, from the Arctic tundra to tropical forests, each interpreting the language of the unseen, offering healing.
It is kind of interesting that like shamans existed across cultures. I mean, they may not have all been called shamans, but like that role of, the person who was connected to the divine, that existed across all different sorts of tribes, geographies, all sorts of different things. I mean, that doesn't seem like a mistake.
Oh, well, these are the revered people who are most connected to spirit or have a bigger connection. That, again, like you said, you've got shamans, you've got medicine men, you've got all kinds of spiritualists. Then you have that evolved, I think, into a priesthood where it became formalized and, continued from there until I think back in this kind of time. And if you're a true shaman and you have the trust of your community, you're a little more honest with your connection. I think that it turned into a manipulative role, especially in organized religions, where it became more of a, I'll tell you what to do. And it was for the good of like the church or the person giving the advice, or God knows, but it was more of manipulated back in this day. And I think in some cultures now, Native Americans included, that role is very sacred, and they're just going to say the truth. They're not going to try and manipulate.
Right.
But yeah, but positions of power, I mean, humans learned how to abuse that very quickly. But yeah, it is everywhere. You're right.
Insight and protection. They weren't chosen by institutions. They were chosen by the spirits, by dreams, by suffering. Often, a shaman's initiation came through illness or trauma, some rupture that forced them to step beyond the ordinary. It's important to understand that early animism wasn't irrational. It was deeply logical in a symbolic and emotional sense. In a world of chaos and danger, spirit offered coherence. It allowed early humans to believe they were not powerless. that they could negotiate with the world, find balance with it. Animism gave meaning to death, to sickness, to the mysterious and the beautiful. It wove humans into the fabric of life, not as rulers, but as relatives. What we see in these ancient practices is not the birth of religion, but the birth of awareness. Awareness that life is shared, that agency is distributed, and that spirit is not confined to flesh. The dawn of belief wasn't a leap to heaven. It was a rooting into the earth, into water, into fire. Animism was not a primitive superstition. It was humanity's first conversation with existence. A whispered dialogue
that.
between our ancestors and the world they walked through. And if you listen closely, you can still hear the echoes. At the heart of animism lies a revolutionary idea, one so fundamental, so quietly powerful, that it rewires the way you see everything around you. It is the belief that all things possess spirit, not just living things, but everything. The wind has intention, the mountain has memory, the river is not just water flowing through a landscape, but a being with its own soul, moods, and desires. To the animist, there are no inanimate objects. There is no such thing as dead matter. The world is not filled with things. It is filled with persons. Some of them human, most of them not. This is not spirit as a ghost or a supernatural figure floating in the background. It's deeper than that. Spirit in animism is the force of presence, the awareness and agency that exists in all elements of the natural world. A rock may not speak in words, but it has a story. A forest may not walk, but it breathes, it listens, and it remembers. In many animist cultures, this presence is called a life force, a vital energy that animates and connects all things. It goes by many names across different traditions: mana, chi, orenda, prana, but the core idea is the same. Life is everywhere, and all life is interconnected. Animism doesn't divide the world into sacred and profane, natural and supernatural. There is no hierarchy of spirit. A snake in a storm may be just as spiritually significant as a human or a god. This radically flattens the spiritual landscape. It means that wisdom can come from anywhere. It means that the sacred can be found not just in temples, but in puddles, in moss, in the glance of a deer. It means the world is alive with meaning, not because we project it there, but because it's already there, waiting to be noticed. The soul in animistic thinking is not a static thing encased in a body. It's dynamic. Some cultures believe every person has multiple souls, one that stays, one that travels in dreams, one that connects to ancestors. Others believe that humans and animals can share parts of their soul. In many traditions, a person's soul is deeply tied to their environment. A river spirit might help guard their well-being, while the soul of a hunted animal might return in another form to watch over them. This fluid relational model of the soul breaks down the walls between self and other, human and animal, body and earth. Animistic logic is intuitive rather than analytical. It doesn't rely on rigid doctrines, but on observation, experience, and relationship. If you treat a tree as if it has spirit, and that changes how you live, then the tree has spirit. If you sense that the wind carries a warning and your intuition guides you well, then the wind has spoken. In this worldview, truth is not only external, it's lived, felt, and shared through ritual, story, and symbol. This belief system is astonishingly resilient because it adapts to place. Animism in the Arctic looks different than animism in the rainforest. The spirits reflect the land, the climate, the animals, the rhythms of life, but the foundation remains the same. The world is filled with beings, not things. And every being deserves attention, respect, and relationship. To live as an animist is to live in constant dialogue. It is to approach the world not as a machine to be understood, but as a community to be in relationship with.
I want to see the Northern Lights so bad. I want to go
Oh,
on like a Northern Lights cruise or like an Iceland thing or something. I got to do something like that someday. I'm a little bit like annoyed at the idea of going on vacation somewhere cold I don't like that idea. I like being warm. I like warm environments. I like the beach. I like snorkeling. I like the ocean. I like all that stuff. But like, I would go on vacation somewhere cold to see the Northern Lights, I think.
You know what I think would be really cool? Like if I had the money, I would go to that ice hotel.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I think I know what you're talking
Like
about.
a
Yeah.
whole hotel. It's up in the north somewhere. I don't know where it is. I'm sure someone in the chat knows, but it's that. It's like all carved out of ice and it melts every year and they have to recreate it every year.
Wow.
And it's like there's lights embedded in the ice and there's like a bar and they have ice beds and everything, but everything is covered in furs and, you know, downy comforters and stuff like that. But yeah, I would love, and you're going to see the Northern Lights there. That would be the coolest like bucket list thing I think I can think of, besides maybe going into a pyramid.
I definitely want to go into a pyramid. That would be cool too.
Yeah.
We should go to Egypt sometime, Jennifer. That'd be fun.
Yes.
We'll
have our
trip.
Our past lives will like suddenly hit us in the face. We'll be like, I know where you're from now. I remember you.
I get to think exactly what's going to happen. My God.
It is to
My eyeliner is going to be off the fucking hook after we go to Egypt. I'll tell you what. I'm like,
we're gonna do the full-on Cleopatra cat eye shit.
Fucking black. Oh, like not just the little dust. I'm doing a little dusting right now.
No.
Just but like, no, we're going the full line. It's.
Oh yeah. Well, you know they did that because for the same reason football players put black smudges on their cheeks. Yeah. It's a form of like they didn't have sunglasses, so it absorbs the light, so they don't get the glare of the sun. That's why a lot of desert people wear eyeliner and stuff to protect from the sun.
So I just think it looks cool.
And it looks cool. Yeah.
Sometimes when I get a whole bunch of new subscribers on the channel or new viewers, like I get all these comments being like, "You're wearing too much makeup. Why are you wearing so much eyeliner?" And I'm like, block. No.
If this is what you have to say after all the fucking work I've done and everything I've been through, I don't have time for that.
Like, I watch socialism on the internet for a living. I will wear fucking eyeliner if I want to.
Yeah. Screw you guys.
Yeah. Fuck you guys.
live with humility because you are never alone. Everything around you sees, hears, and responds. And in that web of connection, meaning emerges, not imposed by humans, but discovered in partnership with the living world. Animism is not a singular doctrine tied to one region or people. It is a global phenomenon, a worldview that has emerged independently in cultures all across the planet. From deserts to jungles, tundras to highlands, the belief that spirit pervades the world is as old as humanity itself. What's remarkable is not just that so many cultures embraced animism, but how uniquely they shaped it, reflecting the landscapes, animals, and ancestral memories that defined their world. In Africa, animism remains deeply woven into the fabric of life. Across the continent's vast and varied regions, countless indigenous belief systems echo the core animistic principle that all things possess spirit. Among the Yoruba of West Africa, the Orisha are not distant gods, but spiritual forces present in rivers, lightning, iron, and trees. Rituals involve communicating with these forces through dance, song, and divination.
How do you know the
In the
river
Congo,
likes you
the
dancing in
Bakongo
it? Maybe the
people
river
view
doesn't
life
want you
and death
dancing in
as
it.
a cycle guided by ancestors
River doesn't
who
have
still
desire.
walk
River
among the living.
flows.
Well, I guess, but it's kind of rude to like jump up and down on something, isn't it? I'm just kidding. I'm really kidding. I'm not serious about what I'm saying.
I'm like, what is happening? It's it might have energy, but it's still just water.
I'm kidding. Everyone calm down.
Oh my god.
I can make jokes too. It's my show.
The land itself is alive, and to damage it without reverence is to invite imbalance and misfortune. In many
you dance
African
with reverence.
traditions,
Okay, got it.
sacred groves are protected spaces where humans may enter only with permission, for the spirits of trees and animals dwell there and must be greeted as kin. Moving east into Asia, animism appears in a dazzling variety of forms. In Shinto, the indigenous spirituality of Japan, kami, spiritual essences, inhabit rocks, waterfalls, trees, and even man-made objects. Shrines dot the country, built not to worship distant deities but to honor the spirits that live nearby. often a tree or a mountain with a name and personality. The act of bowing to a shrine is not just ritual. It's a greeting, a recognition of presence. In Siberia, the Evenki, a reindeer-herding people, believe the world is filled with spirits, both helpful and harmful. Shamans wear elaborate costumes and beat drums to journey into spirit realms, seeking answers from animal guides and nature spirits. Even further south in Southeast Asia, animism blends into Buddhism and Hinduism. In Bali, offerings of flowers, incense, and rice are placed daily at crossroads, under trees, in homes, not only to gods, but to the countless spirits who share space with humans. In the Americas, indigenous animistic beliefs form the core of countless tribes' spiritual lives. Among the Lakota Sioux of North America, the concept of Wakan Tanka, the Great Mystery, includes not just a creator, but the entire spiritual network of existence. Everything from the eagle to the stone is part of this sacred web. Ceremonies like the Sweat Lodge or the Vision Quest are not symbolic rituals. They are real communications with the spirit world, conducted with humility and precision. In the Amazon, tribes such as the Shipibo, Conibo see the rainforest as an intricate living system, filled with plant spirits, animal allies, and ancestral beings. The hallucinogenic brew ayahuasca is taken not to escape reality, but to deepen one's communion with the jungle's consciousness.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Even in modern urban environments, many Native American and First Nations people continue to practice animistic rituals, from smudging with sage to dream interpretation and seasonal ceremonies honoring the land. In Australia, the Aboriginal peoples possess one of the oldest continuous animistic traditions on Earth.
So really,
their belief system.
So I mean, a lot of the things that we believe do actually just come from this, right?
Yeah.
So fuck you, Christians. We have the world's oldest religion. What do you have? You have made up bullshit 2,000 years ago that was handed to you by Jews. Like, fuck you, Christians. Seriously.
It's not
fuck
wrong.
you.
It's not wrong. I'm like grounding Karlyn's energy. Even though I tend to agree, I do, and I'm allowed to speak my truth as much as anybody else. And this is the essence, I think, of where we started should have been where we stayed. But I really do think that mankind's ego got in the way, and now we had to have priests and temples and formalization and keep the people in line and chastise them if they're evil or sinful, and then it just escalated from there, and now here we are.
Yeah, I agree.
This is the essence of who we are.
I also like to smudge with Palo Santo. I prefer it to sage, actually, like significantly.
Is it because of the smell? I've never used Palo Santo.
I think it was, I think it's because of the smell. I also just find it to be like less messy, to be honest.
Oh God.
And I kind of like the fact, like, you're only supposed to really use Palo Santo from a tree that has fallen of its own accord. And that's the only Palo Santo that's supposed to be harvested and stuff like that. And so I kind of like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I have a little a shell that I use to catch ash because I have.
Yeah, I have a shell too.
Yeah, I have like one of those. I get epic sage bundles when I smudge. Well, if I decide to do a big house cleansing, or like when you move, always cleanse when you leave and cleanse where you land. Mm-hmm. And I have multiple times burned my carpet with little sage embers that go. So I try to catch it, but I have a little feather. I only have 2 hands, so usually I have a sage bundle and a feather, and I'm smudging and chanting, and then. But yeah, I try to have the shell there when I can.
There you go.
Known often as the dreaming or dream time, is a complex spiritual framework that describes the creation of the world and its ongoing sacred presence. According to the dreaming, ancestral beings shaped the land, sang rivers into existence, danced mountains into form, and left their essence behind. Every rock formation, tree, and waterhole has a story, not a myth, but a spiritual truth. Songlines, invisible paths across the land that connect sacred sites, are walked and sung by elders who maintain the memory of the land's spirit. The connection between people and place is so intimate that to forget a story or neglect a ritual can damage both the soul and the landscape. Even Europe, often associated with monotheistic traditions today, has deep roots in animistic thought. In the Celtic traditions of ancient Ireland and Scotland, rivers had goddesses, groves were sacred, and animals were messengers between worlds. Druids acted as spiritual mediators, and the seasons were marked by festivals tied to the rhythms of the earth. Stones were not just markers, they were beings, like the ones arranged at Stonehenge, whose alignments echo cosmic cycles. Norse mythology, too, is built on animistic foundations. The world tree Yggdrasil connects all realms of existence. Spirits inhabit the waters, the forests, and even tools and weapons. In Slavic cultures, domovoi are household spirits, and forests are ruled by leshi, wild guardians of the trees. These beliefs did not vanish with Christianity. They often merged, disguised in folklore, fairy tales, and local customs. Across all these regions, animism doesn't merely describe the world, it sustains it. It creates a framework in which humans are not the dominant force, but a participant in a vast, interconnected web. Whether in the chants of a Balinese priest, the drumbeat of a Siberian shaman, the prayer of a native elder, or the stories whispered by an Aboriginal elder, the same truth echoes. The world is alive. Every place has a spirit. Every being has a role. And it is the duty of humans not to rule over this world, but to listen, honor, and protect it. What's remarkable is how this ancient belief continues to thrive, evolve, and resurface in contemporary movements. Many modern people, disconnected from the land, are rediscovering animistic thinking through environmentalism, plant medicine, and a deepening awareness that the earth is not a machine, but a presence. From continent to continent, animism is not a fossil. It is a living, breathing way of being, as varied as the winds and as eternal as the soil beneath our feet. Animism is not just a belief. It is a practice, a way of living that manifests in thousands of tangible forms across the world. These practices are not empty rituals, but ongoing conversations with the spirit-filled universe. They are how animist cultures maintain relationship, balance, and respect with the unseen forces that surround them. Every gesture, every word, every drumbeat is meaningful. Animistic rituals aren't about control, they're about connection. One of the most iconic symbols of animistic practice is the totem. Totems are not merely carvings or symbols. They are representations of spiritual kinship. Among many indigenous peoples, particularly in North America and Australia, totems serve as guardians, ancestors, and teachers. A clan may have a bear, eagle, or wolf as their totem, not as a mascot, but as a spiritual relative. The qualities of that animal are believed to shape the identity and destiny of the group. Children are told stories of their totem animal, passed down through generations, so they can understand their lineage, their place in the world, and the responsibilities that come with it. To disrespect one's totem is to dishonor your heritage and spiritual bond. Shamanism is perhaps the most recognizable animistic tradition found in cultures from Siberia.
I didn't realize that shamanism went back that long. For some reason, I mean, it makes total sense. I'm like, and now I'm kind of like thinking about it. I'm like, oh shit, well that actually makes sense. I just didn't realize. I did not think shamanism came from the first religion for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of always viewed shamanism as like, well, the original priesthood.
Well, I mean, I guess I just never really thought about it, like, honestly. So now that I'm putting two and two together, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. But I never thought about it.
Yeah. Well, the connections happened naturally for these guys, and then they became a little falsified later. But yeah, back in the day, I mean, like we were talking about, it's all about what you're observing, your connection, how your spirit is wakening up. And there was something that was said a minute ago about it's not about control, it's about connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, yeah, because you can't make money off connection.
Yeah, real.
Area to the Amazon, From Mongolia to the Arctic Circle, a shaman is not a priest in the conventional sense. They are a mediator, a healer, and a traveler between worlds. Through drumming, chanting, dancing, fasting, or ingesting sacred plants, shamans enter trance states in which they communicate with spirits of animals, ancestors, and nature itself. They bring back knowledge, healing, or warnings. Shamans may call upon spirit allies, shape-shift in dreams, or retrieve lost soul fragments to restore harmony to a person or community. Their tools, feathers, bones, drums, and masks, are not decorative. Each is a vessel of spirit, an extension of their relationship with the other world. Offerings are central to animistic life. They may be simple: a bowl of rice left at a river, a flower placed at a tree's base, a whisper of smoke drifting from burning herbs. These are not bribes or bargains. They are gestures of respect, gratitude, and presence. In Bali, daily offerings are made not just to gods, but to household spirits, roadside spirits, and even mischievous ones that might cause trouble if ignored. In Africa and the Caribbean, libations of water or alcohol are poured onto the earth to honor ancestors. These offerings remind both spirit and human of their mutual responsibilities. To give is to acknowledge relationship. To forget is to invite imbalance. Storytelling is another living practice, perhaps the most sacred. In animistic cultures, stories are not just entertainment. They are maps. They carry the laws of the land, the memory of ancestors, and the moral lessons encoded in the behavior of animals and spirits. A story about a trickster fox or a wise turtle is not just a fable. It's a guide to surviving the world.
Isn't it kind of funny if you, I mean, like, you think about it like the trickster fox, and we just kind of like go, yeah, that makes sense, right? But like, isn't it kind of funny how different animals do have completely different personalities? And you got like the raccoon who's got like this little like sassy, like, you know, they're wearing a thief's mask and they're literally engaging in thievery. Like that's literally what they do. Or you have like a lion, and the lion has that like really strong energy. It's just like, I don't know, it's like interesting.
Well, so many things came to mind. We learn from nature. We attribute from nature. We bring that into our communication ability. So if you look, like you said, the little fox, and they are tricky, the little buggers, you know, and when you think about any kind of energy signature or the personality of it, it's symbolic to us because, well, I mean, it's literal and symbolic. So, I mean, like if I had a little fox figurine, that would be symbolic of trickster nature, whereas a real fox would be a trickster. What are you doing?
Hang on, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah. Well,
I have a very expensive fox figurine.
Oh my! Look at that little guy.
It's a bronze fox figurine. It's all handmade, all hand painted.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Little fox.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I have my barn owl that husband gave me.
Oh,
I love that. That's my first totem animal was a barn owl. But that for me, this, you know, symbolizes wisdom and observation and intelligence, craftiness, contemplation, introspection, you know. So because that's we mean either the animal exhibits the obvious traits or we give them to it. So I mean, an owl sitting in a tree to us might look like a wise observer, where the owl is just hanging out like, yeah, it's a great night, man. Ooh, is that a mouse? You know, so like the animal's the animal, but it does have a vibe, you know, and I think that's what that whole like totem and bringing the animal spirit into your own is kind of about.
The owl looks wise until it gets wet. And then the owl looks then the owl does not look wise anymore.
Or have you ever seen where they pull their belly feathers up and it's like they're all legs? It's like that doesn't look right.
Yeah. Like, no, go back to normal, owl. We don't need to see this.
To understanding one's place in the cosmic order, elders pass down these stories orally. With deep care, they are not merely told. They are performed, remembered, and lived. And when a story is forgotten,
and one more thing,
that part of the world's...
Go ahead.
I saw an advertisement for like one of those what is it, like those mentor kind of program things that you get on they advertise, and masterclass, that's what it was. And it was for writing, because writing shit comes up for me all the time for some reason. And one guy said, humans are the only animals who tell stories, and we need it. It's vital to our existence to tell history, to convey lessons, to keep track of things. And some people, you know, because, you know, as you know, everybody knows I write. I'm a writer. I have books out. And I also teach writers. And this, people say, well, I want to write a book, but I don't know why. Like, why should I write? Because you're literally performing one of the most ancient sacred rites of humanity by storytelling. Never, always remember that. And in yourself too, because you're writing to preserve history through examples, maybe a little exaggeration, like Alice in Queerland and the Communist Manifesto, a fairy tale. You're like, oh, these are exaggerated examples to make a point. And this is what's so, it's, you know, Aesop's fables. You tell this weird story to make that point at the end so that people learn something by the end of it. But it is the most ancient art for us.
I feel like I like, and even the stuff I do with socialism, I mean, my whole thought process behind that is, and I've said this many times, like, I'm not really necessarily creating for now. I'm trying to archive so that there is a record of all of this stuff happening. Like, that's always it seems so boring. This is what I want my nonprofit to be about. Like, my nonprofit is an archival project. I want to be able to say, here is all the shit that happened, and I'm putting it in one place so we can all find it and we can all use it and we can all research it and stuff like that. But that's always been very top of mind to me, that if someone doesn't preserve this stuff, then a whole side of history, when the socialists inevitably win and we have the Marxist utopia, because we are so beyond fucked, it's not even funny. So they're going to win. And I want there to be a little bastion somewhere where people are like, here's what actually happened. Here is how we got to this place.
This is how, the why, and the what the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that.
The how, the why, and the what the fuck. Wow. That's actually, I'm going to use that. I'm writing that down. The how, the why, and the what the fuck. I love that.
Everyday Therapist made a great point too. Singing is also storytelling. Singing, I think, well, on any kind of art, really, it's our ancient connection. You know, it's our ancient, this is, I think, why we're so primally moved when we hear people sing, even karaoke. I mean, we love music. Music is an enormous industry. We love movies. We love books. Why? Because it's storytelling, because it is connecting that primal instinct to share the creativity and just the verbal, if you will, history or lessons of people and culture. And it's, anyway, it's supremely important. Totally agree.
Spirit fades with it. Perhaps the deepest and most emotionally powerful animistic practice is ancestral.
I have something more to say on the story thing. This is why too, like, I'm so worried about the impact of the internet just on the overall knowledge base of humanity, I will say. Because, like, this is something I've thought about a lot in terms of, like, the stuff I do online. Like, I could just talk about socialism all the time. I could follow a very strict content schedule. Some people do that. But, like, people know about my life. They know about my thought process. They know about random shit I experience in this, because telling the story of the human experience of this has always been very, very important to me. Like, I always said if I was going to do this internet thing, I wanted to live like an authentic human experience, just to have like the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads, the cringe, like whatever. Like, I wanted to like present something to say, I'm a real life human being and this is what I think and this is what I'm experiencing, because I think there's so much fake bullshit out there, Jennifer. And like,
influencers.
It's like everyone thinks they have to be perfect and everyone thinks that it all is, and it's just like, if we don't tell the stories of actual humanity, not this fucking filtered bullshit and like everything's perfect and I have all this nice stuff and my life is amazing and I never break down and cry for no reason and like all this stuff, like if we don't tell the other stories too, it's like people don't have permission to allow themselves to fall apart. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, you can't let anybody see that. You know, I mean, first of all, you're right. We suddenly have transferred this need to control ourselves so much that we are literally perfect or whatever, and nobody is. It's a facade. We all know it. When the facade breaks down, it breaks big. And there are tons of influencers where all of a sudden you find out about their actual life, what's going on. There's like, I used to watch like people who live in RVs and stuff, which I'm about to do here pretty soon. But there's a lot of them, they talk about like, oh, this is great. This is my perfect children. And this is where we have homeschool. Here's my perfect clean trailer. And here's all our laundry perfectly stacked and put it away. My husband is amazing. Everybody's happy. We're going to go have a picnic now with our dogs. Yay. And it's like, you know, that is not there every day. And then there are the people who go, all right, here are the 5 things for why this fucking sucks. And then they just get real and they talk about, we fight. We can't run away from each other because we're in this little fucking trailer. And like they get real, they get dirty with it. And it's wonderful. I'd love to hear that reality. And I think that's also, to your point, what's very attractive about how you're letting this be a true historical record. When you are crying online, when you need to let it out, you let everybody see that. That's so brave. I would never be able to do that. I get too embarrassed. Like, you have so much strength in you to be able to do that. And people need to respect that, because I think we have gotten too used to perfection, so-called, or so seemingly perfect stories. So well, I think emotions scare us sometimes.
No, I mean, and that's why I do it. And people think I'm like breaking down. Like, no, I am making a deliberate decision to allow you to see me in this state so that you know that this does fucking suck sometimes. This like because I really do think, okay, so like I'm not unaware that, and I know this sounds like I have a big head. I don't mean it this way. I actually think this is really weird. I'm not unaware that I could be in the history books someday. And like, when the story of me, if it ever gets written, I want it to be a real story, to be like, you know what? She persevered through all this fucking bullshit and she almost quit 19 different ways from Sunday. And she cried on the internet all the fucking time and she didn't want to do this. Because that's like, I just think that's more real. And it's like, I think it shows that you don't have to be a perfect person to try to do something. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the idea that we need to be the perfect weight, or we need to have the perfect hair, or we need to look the right way, or sound the right way, or talk the right way, or this, that, and the other, or dress the right way, or present the perfect image to be able to talk about a subject on the internet, it's just like, it's bullshit, you know?
That gives me strength, because I do get hung up on my own self-image sometimes. I had to shelve the YouTube thing because we are packing to move. So yeah, but it's like, I do get hung up on that. And sometimes like when I was filming, it's like, I would be times where I'm like, I don't want to film because, you know, I'm having a breakout, I'm PMSing, you know, my skin looks terrible. I got enough makeup on to like, you know, stun a buffalo or whatever. It's like, or I don't look good in that shirt. Oh, I'm bloated today or whatever. And it's like, you have these things, these conditions that you put on yourself that remove you from being a human, I think, and it just makes you a talking head, and it's absolutely disingenuous. So that actually gives me a lot of food for thought there.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted, Jennifer. It sucks sometimes, and it's not easy to do that. But like, I can't imagine for me needing to be this perfect person all the time, where I'm like, I just can't. I can't do it. Aries.
Right. Well, I'm going to show you. Hold on. I got to show you something. Hold on.
Okay.
I have this. Here it is. Okay. This is my happy hat. And I wear this.
Yeah.
I wear this when I want to film something, or if I don't know if you know polo, the
Yep.
The hat. So this is my happy hat. I made this hat. It's a big poofy hat. Mm-hmm. It can go many ways. And when my hair looks like shit, and I haven't showered, and you know I'm in the middle of life, I just throw this on, and it just makes me happy because it looks like a big flower, and it's just really fun. And so like this, this is where I jam from.
I love it.
Worship. To an animist, death does not sever connection. Ancestors are not gone. They have changed form. They reside in the land, in dreams, in the wind. They are consulted for guidance, protection, and support. Homes may have ancestor altars. Grave sites may be revisited regularly with food, music, or prayer. In some cultures, ancestors are seen as co-creators of present life. When a child is born, it is said to carry the spirit of a grandparent. Mm-hmm. This intergenerational bond ensures that no one is truly alone. You are always part of a larger continuum, and your life is a thread in an eternal tapestry. Together, these rituals, totems, shamanic journeys, offerings, stories, and ancestor reverence form the heartbeat of animistic cultures. They are not separate from daily life. They are life. Through them, the world is kept in balance, the community stays in harmony, and the invisible threads connecting all things remain strong and vibrant. These are not relics of the past. They are practices of the present, alive, evolving, and still whispering to those who know how to listen. When placed beside the towering structures of organized religion, animism can seem quiet, even invisible. There are no temples of gold, no sacred texts carved in stone, no single founder or codified law. Yet animism predates them all. It is the spiritual root system from which...
I mean, and that's kind of the thing I think that attracted me to like this form of spirituality, which is like, it's just so simple.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just so simple. Like, shouldn't spirituality be simple? Like, shouldn't it just, do we need to build a big fucking gold building in order? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Well, and you'll notice that there are no rules.
Yeah, true.
There's no sin. There's no guilt. There's no chastising. There's no judgment. As soon as people started using the rule or laws of God, they othered people. They ostracized people. They outcast people. They created here's your lower group, your middle group, your upper group. They're what the communities fractured because all they did was judge each other. You're not a good Christian. I'm a better Christian than you. In fact, I heard a Muslim guy interviewed once, and he was talking about how there's so much violence, and I forget what country he was in, Middle Eastern country, obviously, but he's like, there's so much violence and so much, public executions are still a thing there. And he said, because we are so scared to be sinners or to be identified as a sinner that we have to point the finger at other people to keep the focus away from us. So we're constantly pointing out their flaws, their sins, their problems, so that we look more righteous.
Yeah,
and I think, a lot of like the Protestants did that a lot. The Puritans, not the Protestants, sorry, I meant the Puritans, and the ones that founded this country and why we're so judgmental probably comes from the, built on Christian values. Thank you very much. But when it comes down to basic nature and acceptance, nothing is there but love. And that's the foundation. And that's another reason I left Christianity was because I was just tired of all the finger pointing and the holier than thou and I'm better than you. And it's like, I know your shit doesn't stink, but you're pointing a finger at me to keep the attention off of you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I agree. It's much more simple and sweet.
I talked about this on a stream like the other day, but like, I was talking about like, people think that my beliefs are crazy sometimes. And yeah, okay, I can understand why if I say like I'm really psychic and really intuitive, why that might seem a little odd, or I have crystals on me. Yeah, I understand that might seem odd. But Christians, you think a virgin had a baby. Like, can we talk about like, you've got your weird shit too. And so maybe if you want to be left alone to believe your weird shit, you should back off about the pretty rocks I have on my desk. Okay.
Exactly. That's why people, they talk about like the spaghetti monster or the great spaghetti god or whatever it was. It's like, well, honestly, it's no crazier than any other fucking belief system, really. Yeah. I mean, look at what happened with friggin' L. Ron Hubbard. I mean, Scientology. My God, that is literally a religion based on science fiction. Because this guy was a failed writer, bless, because I love writers, but he was a nutcase. And he created this violently horrible system that is suppressing thousands of people. It's
But do you know how he did it though? Like Dianetics has so much ancient wisdom in it. Like he just cribbed everything else and he wrote a book about it and called it Dianetics, but really he didn't invent any of those concepts.
No, he grifted, I believe is the term. Yeah.
And then he bought a ship and sailed through the sea and joined the sea and created the Sea Org, where people had to sign their lives away to him and all this stuff. I want to create a religion where I get to go on a giant boat and also always be sailing and have people sign their lives over to me. Is everyone ready to sign a 1,000,000-year contract over to me? Is everyone ready right now? We'll have that drawn up and given to you guys by morning.
I just want a houseboy who feeds me and fills my wine cup,
Yeah.
Many world religions unknowingly grew a deep, ancient current of belief that flows beneath the surface of human culture. But as civilizations rose and formal religions took shape, the animistic worldview was not erased. It was absorbed, transformed, and at times deliberately pushed aside. What separates animism from major religions like Christianity, Islam, or even Hinduism is its radically decentralized nature. In animism, there are no hierarchies of holiness. Spirit is not contained in a distant heaven, nor
Hang on, pause.
monopolized by a priesthood. It exists.
Here you go.
Okay, so I'll make sure I'm looking at the right comment. I think, yeah, Yasmin said something very, very poignant. Is that Christians also think women came from the rib of a man when only women can give birth. Now, this is interesting you said this, Yasmin, because as I was researching our videos for today, I came across one about how this, animism, they say it went to polytheism, which became monotheism, and blah, 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 blah. And one of the things when it got into monotheism is they had to take the power from women so utterly. And this is something else I researched long ago when I was a burgeoning pagan, about how the god culture smothered the goddess culture, and they had to take women's power away. And one of the ways religion did that was taking away her power of creation. God creates man, then man creates woman. Woman then is in pain, bringing forth the creations of men.
Wow.
She doesn't create life. Adam created life. Men create life. And women have to bear the brunt of that and then be subjugated. So that was something that was just really profound to me in one of those videos I saw. I was like, I've researched how goddess cultures have been smothered by god cultures for years, and that there's a balance, there's a swing back into goddess cultures. But one thing, when I was with my pagan community and I was going to the festivals and the ceremonies and all the thing, that I noticed is that the pendulum was going unhealthily into the feminine. Mm-hmm. They were trying so hard to make up for it that they were all becoming women, even the men. And then the whole queer movement happened. Well, that makes sense, because that pendulum is swinging. Now they're like, I have to make up for all the subjugation and all the horrible things every man for thousands of years has ever done. I'm a woman too.
Ugh.
I'm like, I just can't. But I mean, again, back to the power of creation. Yeah. So spiritually speaking, but I think that's part of the sickness that's happening, is that the balance of energy just is going from one to the other, and it hasn't found its fulcrum yet.
Well, I mean, even then, like they're still doing a hierarchy when they're doing that. It's like they're still trying to organize themselves into a hierarchy where something is inherently better or worse. And I think this is one of the trickiest things to wrap. I mean, I feel like I wrapped my head around this a while ago, and it kind of changed a lot of stuff, which is like, there is no good, there is no bad, there is no better, there is no worse, there is no right, there is no wrong. There is you're going to experience karma for whatever you do. So if you do a lot of fucked up shit, you're going to experience a lot of fucked up karma, and you better be ready for that. But you have to stop judging things or putting things in better or worse categories, because most things just are.
Yeah. Well, it's like they are programming us from a very young age to judge things, mm-hmm. to try and find our superiority in the hierarchy. And now we're just totally confused. Everything sucks. Everything's hard. Everything's wrong. Everything's a struggle session. And honestly, we just need to go touch fucking grass and hug a tree. Maybe eat a mushroom.
Or several.
Yeah.
Everywhere. In the leaf, the stone, the riverbank, and the breath of a dying animal. There is no need for a sacred book to validate these truths. The forest is the scripture. The wind carries the teachings. Spiritual authority lies in experience, not in dogma. In contrast, organized religions often define the divine as separate, transcendent, and removed. In Christianity, for instance, God is often portrayed as a being beyond creation, the creator, but not the creation itself. The natural world is viewed as made by God, but not inherently divine. This creates a dualism. Spirit versus matter, sacred versus profane. In Islam, the world is seen as a reflection of Allah's will, beautiful and meaningful, yet Allah himself remains beyond the material. These religions tend to center worship around specific places, texts, and rituals that are distinct from everyday life. While they provide profound systems of morality, cosmology, and purpose, they often do so by drawing a boundary between humanity and the rest of creation. Hinduism, though closer in some ways to animistic ideas, still organizes its spiritual structure through complex hierarchies of deities, castes, and scriptures. However, it retains...
Hang on. We got Suzanne has a question. What is the best meditation? I need help. there is no such thing as the best meditation, Suzanne. I mean, so it's like, what do you want to do? What do you respond to? Are you new to meditating? Have you ever meditated before? I mean, there's so many, like there are a lot of free where I would probably start is, like, what do you want to achieve from meditation? Do you want to be more calm? Do you want to reduce your stress? Do you want to try to like visualize and manifest? Do you want to just connect with spirituality? It's like, figure out kind of like what you want to do, or maybe if you even just want to learn how to start meditating, and then try some guided meditations. Like, you can find a ton of free guided meditations on YouTube and Spotify. Start small, just like with 5 minutes. Like, you don't even have to have a guided meditation. Just like, you can even just sit for 5 minutes, close your eyes, just breathe in and out. But when you first start, I think it helps to have something saying breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, because that gives you something to focus on. Maybe it's like a nice music in the background or whatever. Guided visual imagery, I need to center myself and feel. I mean, I would just look for guided meditations to that effect, honestly. Like, there are millions of these things out there, and you have to find, like, ask spirit for help in finding the ones that are best for you, honestly. Jennifer, you have any advice?
I do. I'm feeling the vibe here. I'm listening to, did you say her name was Suzanne? I'm listening to her, how do I say that? Spirit, I guess. Sit in stillness. Sit in stillness. Close the door. Be no pets, no people. Be silent. Don't have music. Open a window. Let in the natural sounds. Even if it's cars, if that's the natural sound around you, that's okay. Just sit in stillness and don't actively think. Observe the thoughts that come in. So one of the first meditational practices I learned was to do a protective sort of energy egg around myself, sit in stillness and silence, and observe the thoughts that come into my sphere. And then I pick one and I go, oh, let's look at that. And I think about it, and then I go, okay, that's it. And I let it out of my sphere. It's gone now. Then I pick another one until I've picked through them all and they're gone and there's nothing but silence. And that is a way sometimes to sift through the noise. And people often who have problems with meditation, they can't sift through that noise. They keep thinking too hard. They're grinding and grinding away with all this stuff going on, politics, their lives, their bills, their kids, their spouses, blah, 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 whatever. You let each thought come in, grab it and hold it right in front of you and say, I respect you. What have you got to tell me? And you talk to it, you listen to it, you think about it and go, okay, off you go. Grab the next one until they're gone. Then sit in silence. After that, you can listen to music. Your mind will be freer. If the thoughts still come in, just acknowledge them, like every time. And that's one thing I did, and it cleared my mind. I get to the point where when I feel those little thoughts coming in, those little bubbles coming in, I just already can go, I already know you're not important. What is important is me and my stillness. So,
that's really great advice.
It does take time to do, but give it a shot.
Yeah, it takes practice. I mean, Chad Jesus says, my monkey mind is so loud, I have such difficulty with meditation. You have to practice. It is a skill. You have to develop. We don't do this naturally. I mean, we can do it naturally if we were taught how to meditate when we were kids, like we probably should be, but we are not. And so you have to learn how to do it. It's like riding a bike.
Well, that's why, I mean, people think meditation is nothingness, and it can be, and it's lovely when you can get there. But that's what I loved about the advice of, if you have that active little monkey mind, like you said, just take each little thought one at a time, bring it in and just look at it and go, okay, what? Let's talk. All right, we're done. You next. And just let it all just sift through. And if that's all you do because you have so many things coming back, or if you see one that comes back that you already talked to, go, hey, I already addressed you, go away. And learn how to sift through and not repeat. Don't get caught in a circle. Let the thoughts go. If you see a familiar thought, tell it to go away. I already addressed you. So that can help. But also music is very nice distraction, especially if you find they have lots of that vibrational stuff now that it's like different colors of music, or of energy that help hit different parts of your brain wavelengths. Those are really nice. I love those. So, but yeah, really. And if you think, hey, I really need to focus on something because that's your nature, then focus on your energy. Focus on the pillar of light inside you that's filling you. Focus on your chakras. Focus on yourself. Focus on that harmony. And then that will help as well, hopefully. Yeah, binaural beats, Chris. Exactly.
Echoes of animism. in its reverence for rivers, animals, and mountains. The Ganges is not just water, it is a goddess. Cows are not just animals, they are mothers. This spiritualization of the natural world points to Hinduism's ancient roots in animistic tribal beliefs. But over time, these ideas were folded into an expansive religious system, layered with metaphysics, rituals, and sacred texts like the Vedas and Upanishads. The key difference lies in how each system relates to power and place. Major religions often centralize spiritual authority through prophets, books, and institutions. Animism decentralizes it. It puts spiritual power in the hands of the listener, the dreamer, the one who can see the shimmer of life in ordinary things. Where organized religion might seek truth through revelation, animism seeks it through relationship. Where one might build temples to house the divine, the other might sit beside a stone and listen. Yet despite these differences, animism has deeply influenced the world's religions, especially in their earliest expressions.
Hang on. Breaking news. I know we're not supposed to do news updates, but I feel like this is important given the news of the past week that Trump, did you hear, by the way, that Trump made a statement saying the Epstein files were a Democratic hoax?
Yes, I heard that right before we went live.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that was a hoax.
Yeah, thanks, Trump. Thanks for clearing that up. But they've just introduced in Thomas Massie in Congress the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The bill gives the DOJ 30 days to release everything, the flight logs, the FBI files, the immunity deals, the names, the cover-up, and it bans redactions for embarrassment or political sensitivity.
Was that a Democrat that put that forward?
It's Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, so I think they're one of each.
Oh, okay. Thomas Massie is a Republican, I believe.
Yeah.
So I heard
Trump is going to be so pissed. Trump was already pissed at Thomas Massie. He's going to be so pissed now.
Well, they're going at it, aren't they? But I think
Yeah.
what's funny is it's like, to me, I'm wondering, one of two things is true. Either Trump is orchestrating this and getting the Democrats on his side with it, or he's about to face a giant kerfuffle, because it could be that, you know how people say if Trump cured cancer, all of a sudden the Democrats would be like, we love cancer. So now he's like, I'm not releasing the Epstein files. Hey, this is a scam, and why are you even asking me about it anymore? And now the Democrats are like, we demand the release of the Epstein files. So I'm wondering if this is how he's getting people on board, or if he just like stepped in something huge.
Oh, I think he stepped in something huge, and he doesn't. Because did you see his post on True Social?
No, I don't have Truth Social.
Oh, Jennifer. Oh, hang on. No. We have to.
Oh, God.
I have to
my
show
serenity.
you this post.
Ah!
I have to show you this post. We have to do a dramatic reenactment of the Trump post on True Social. Hang on 1 second. I have to get it up.
Oh,
I
my
posted
Lord.
it. You're gonna fucking love this. I'm sorry. We're interrupting spirituality night for Epstein coverage. Like. It has to happen. You're like, why are you ruining everything, Karlyn? I'm like, I'm an Aries Jennifer. Let me cook, okay? Let me cook.
I made you promise not to do this.
Yeah, she literally did too. When Jennifer said it, she was like, Karlyn, we're not going to do any drama. I'm like, sure, Jennifer, yep. Now let's talk about the fucking Pisces in my life.
Night off.
All right. So here is the post that Trump made on True Social the other day. And I'm gonna do a dramatic reading of it. So it's gonna be great. What's going on with my boys? And in some cases, gals. They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We are on one team. MAGA.
She's not. I'm sorry. Bongino and Kash Patel both were like, we're gonna quit unless you fire that bitch. And then he somehow were wrangled back in. They're like, no, wait. There's going to be some disclosure. We need to work on some stuff. Something bigger than what we think is going on is going on.
Hang on, Jennifer. The post gets better. Okay.
Okay.
We have a perfect administration. The talk of the talk of the world, and selfish people are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again.
He literally ran on Epstein. Come on.
Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan?
That's the scam. He thinks that it was just like his dossier, the Russian Dossier, yeah, he thinks this is another.
And the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more. They created the Epstein files just
Wait,
like
is
they
he
created.
saying Biden's laptop was also a false?
Yeah, I think.
No.
Trump was obviously angry when he wrote this. Jennifer, you have
Or
to
drunk. Well, he says he
allowances.
doesn't drink. Maybe he was high. I don't know.
Maybe. They created the Epstein files just like they created fake Hillary Clinton Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me. And now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Why don't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? They haven't even given up on the John F. Kennedy or Martin Luther King Jr. files. No matter how much success we've had securing the border, deporting criminals, fixing the economy, energy, dominance, a safer world where Iran will not have nuclear weapons. It's never enough for some people. We are about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has ever achieved in over 100 years, and we have so much more to do. We are saving our country, making America great again, which will continue to be our complete priority. The left is imploding. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election in 2020, arresting thugs and criminals, instead of spending months after months looking at nothing but the same old radical left-inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. Let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great. The 2020... the 2020 election was rigged and stolen, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. That's what she is looking into as AG, and much more. 1 year ago, our country was dead, and now it's the hottest country in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about.
What the fuck is happening? Oh my god!
Thank you for your attention in this matter.
Yeah, Epstein, why is everybody talking about Epstein? Says the guy who can't let 2016 go.
I just love this post. I saw this post and I was like, you know what? No matter how many times I say Hitler went to heaven on the internet, it's actually not as it's not as batshit insane as the post the president of the United States made on Truth Social, yelling at everyone to shut the fuck up about the Epstein files.
This is why I have him. This is why.
Yeah.
I know. This is really entertaining. I do think something's gonna come out. I just feel like something's gonna blow wide open. I certainly hope it does. But if it doesn't, then it's just gonna prove that if you have money and connections, you can literally get away with murder, child, molestation, all this stuff. And we know that. And that's why people are mad. They want everybody exposed. If it burns the world down, fine. We need that. Not with nuclear weapons, but with the fucking truth.
Yep. And apparently this was the first ever post in the history of Truth Social in which Trump actually got ratioed by his own audience. And his own audience was like, fuck you, Trump, release the fucking files.
Everybody's mad. You see? He fucking promised. Oh my god. Oh, he ran on this. And I mean, I do believe that if he was anywhere scandalously in the Epstein stuff anywhere, the left would have let that shit leak ages ago. So I don't think he's trying to protect himself, but something else is going on. There was another theory I heard that he told people in Congress, hey, look, I have Epstein files. Vote for my big, beautiful bill, and I won't release them because y'all are in there. And then that shit passed.
Whatever. Anyway, that is our Trump update. That is our breaking news update. We should probably go back to paganism now. That's probably
can we just
a better use of our time. Hey, Amalek's here. Amalek is allowed to be in the Twitter spaces that I'm not allowed to be in. Aww. We're talking about paganism, Amalek.
We're doing the woo tonight. We're talking about animism, actually. All right, everybody, we're gonna read.
He is one of the people that doesn't like Christianity and thinks it's a Jewish psyop. So yeah,
don't disagree. Yeah. So we're all gonna take a minute. We're gonna realign our brain. Back to the woo.
Back to the woo.
the Old Testament is filled with remnants of animistic thinking, burning bushes that speak, rivers that part, stones that cry out. Saints and angels often resemble spirit intermediaries. In rural Christianity, animistic practices continue quietly. Holy wells, sacred groves, and local spirits still honored despite doctrinal disapproval. In Buddhism, particularly in Tibet and Southeast Asia, local spirits known as Nagas, Yakshas, or land guardians are still respected, blended into Buddhist cosmology in ways that keep animism alive under another name. What organized religions often achieve through structure and theology, animism approaches through intimacy. It does not require belief in dogma, only attention to the world around you. It does not seek to convert, only to connect. There are no sinners, only those who forget their relationship to the...
That's the other thing, and we've talked about this. We've talked about this before, but people are confused that the dog is obviously very confused. People are confused when at least the times I've had conversations with the Groypers about this, they're like, but don't you want to convert us to your belief system? And I'm like, no, not in any way. No, if it's your path, it's your path. But I don't actually feel any profound need to proselytize to you. I don't feel any profound need to convert you. You do whatever you want. It's none of my business.
Well, what is the point of proselytizing?
I don't know.
Well,
conversion.
Because
they need to control people because they can't get people to join their stupid religion unless they try to control people.
Butts and seats means money in the plate.
Well, there you go.
And they can control. Well, and back in the day, and I know it's not the same anymore. And again, with love and respect for people who are Christians or of another major religion, in my brain, it is about control and it is about money, because the richest people in any church are the ministry and the priesthood and the heads, and they make the cult that I was a part of. Herbert Armstrong had an enormous palace like mansion in Pasadena, California, and like sculpted grounds, like beautiful manicured everything, gorgeous property. And why would, because he's the apostle. That was our name for him, because he's closest to God. Therefore, he gets to be godlike and be all rich and shit and not have any problems. And the people in the church are always the poorest. It's always the ministry that gets the biggest advantage. Why do they want you to convert people? Because they want the power and the money. And how are they getting you to do it? By telling you that these people are going to burn in a lake of fire for the rest of eternity if they don't bend the knee and pass the plate. With love.
It's like when Scientologists tell you, like, you just need to take this next class, and if you need to max out a credit card to buy these 17 books to take this class, even though you already bought this series of books like 3 years ago, but you need to buy it again because the updated copy for this class.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing. It's like Scientology is actually a great indicator for like every other organized religion, because they're just so overt and in your face about the scam, and people still go on with it, but it's just like, it's so aggressive that you can see how it works, and then you just have to think, how is every other major organized religion applying this same scam?
Yep. And not saying that the spiritual beliefs in certain said religions are lies. I believe every religion has a piece of the truth, and how you interpret it serves you best and fills your heart. That's fine. That's beautiful. But when you start to deconstruct it, when you start to look at the hierarchies, and I think about what happened to Iran from the 50s to the 70s, when they brought in Sharia law, that devastated those people. And now, and I was listening to something the other day, that it has been 40 years of brainwashing, that a whole, like, 2 generations now don't know any differently. If we tried to liberate them, it would fucking destroy those people. They're mentally attached to where they are now.
Oh yeah. That's why we need to stay the fuck out of it. And we need to let them in. Our problem. It's not our problem, Trump. Hey, Amalek, can you send me whatever you're watching? Because I want to hear people cope and seethe about You, Me, and Adam. I think that would be pretty fun. Are the Groypers still complaining? They're so Jennifer. I broke up with the Groypers, and it's very
I know.
sad.
You'll get back together. It's only time.
No, it's over. It's over. I'm done, Jennifer. I'm done. I'm broken up with the Groypers. I want to be with the anti-Christians instead. They're much more interesting, and they don't give me shit for my beliefs, and they don't cause me problems. Groypers, thank you. I appreciate it.
Is he a ginger? Oh, I love gingers.
I don't know if that's what he actually looks like. That might be his manifestation of what he wants
okay.
to look like. I don't know. I'm sure Amalek is very handsome no matter what he looks like, though. Oh, you were... Was it Brittany and Mio? Is that what was going on? Oh, good. Okay, yeah, bye, Hilton. Bye. Bye. Bye, Hilton. Bye. Bye.
The living world. And redemption doesn't come through faith in an abstract heaven, but through restoring balance with the spirits here and now. In the end, animism and organized religion are not enemies. They are different responses to the same human longing: to belong, to understand, to feel the presence of something greater. One looks up to the sky, the other listens to the ground. Both
Ginger
in their
beard
own
with
ways
blonde hair
are
and blue
reaching for the
eyes?
sacred.
Wow.
If animism is the
How tall are
spiritual
you,
lens
Amalek?
through which people perceive the world as alive, then mythology is its poetry, the vivid symbolic language through which those spirits speak.
No one start any rumors,
Myths
okay?
and animistic cultures are not mere tales.
I may design
or
my next
metaphors. They are spiritual
MMC after you.
truths encoded in story.
Yeah.
They serve as living
That would actually be pretty great. No. Psych.
memories of a world where the trees whisper secrets, rivers carry prophecies, and animals walk between realms as guides and guardians. These myths don't simply entertain. They educate, initiate, and maintain the sacred relationship between people and the more than human world. In countless animistic traditions, trees are among the most revered beings.
Oh, I don't like
They
this
are seen not only as life givers,
spider
but as
symbol.
living entities with wisdom
Hey,
far beyond human
Karlyn.
understanding.
What?
In Celtic
Jasmine
mythology,
had a
the oak
question. Do you
What is
think,
Jasmine?
since we're kind of interjecting shit into our woo,
Okay.
do you think the Jews organized to get rid of pagans?
Yes, that's the whole fucking point of Christianity, is to get rid of the pagans. Yes, the Jews created Christianity to get rid of pagans. Yes, 100% yes. I'm pretty sure. Amalek can comment on that too.
I think as far as the Jews go, they were polytheistic. They became monotheistic over time. And I think it might have been, again, the othering starts when you only have one God and he's right and you're wrong. That's when the othering starts. So it could have started then and the Christians just finished it off. But honestly, I think the Roman, when the church in Rome switched from an emperor to a pope, that's when it was over for the pagans.
Yep. Amalek says that is the entire point of Judaism, is to get rid of the pagans. They fucked us, Jennifer. See, you're gonna come around on the JQ. You're gonna come around. I know you're not there yet.
What is the JQ? I've been seeing that in the chat. What is that?
Jewish question.
Oh,
You're gonna come around on this.
I am not going to become anti-Semitic.
Well, we're not anti-Semitic. I don't hate Jews. We love bagels. We denounce all anti-Semitism. We denounce. There's no anti-Semitism allowed. Hitler's burning in hell. All that garbage.
My God.
No less than 10 million Jews died in the Holocaust. Gas chambers definitely have wooden doors. Everything happened like we were taught in school. All that stuff. But you're going to come around on the JQ once you wrap your head around the fact that they literally created Christianity. You were in a Christian cult because of the Jews, Jennifer, and they did it to eradicate paganism from the world. But we love the Jews, but...
I question if was a master plan that's been followed over the eons, but I can see the progression naturally because I do believe that Christianity came out of, obviously Jesus was a Jew and all of a sudden now we have Christianity.
Exactly. So, see, the Christians don't think Jesus was a Jew though. See, this is part of the problem. I swear to God, I've seen them make this argument on those Twitter spaces that I'm not allowed to go into anymore because big tech is an asshole.
Pisces.
Fucking Pisces. But when I was allowed to go in these Twitter spaces before he had his little girl meltdown, I heard the Christians talk about this. They said that Jesus was not Jewish. Did we lose Jennifer? Is everyone frozen? Is it just me? Oh, you're back. Okay.
I don't know what just happened.
Yeah.
I froze my own internet because I was having a brain explosion there.
That's okay. I was yelling a lot, so.
Okay.
Not all Jews created Christianity. It was a small group, and not all Jews today are. See, we're not saying all Jews. We're just saying some Jews, a very small group of elite Jews. It is just Jewish behavior of making isms manifesting itself.
I think that this is tinfoil hat time. I think that this was part of the beginnings of the New World Order, the 13 sacred families that started way back when, and they have been orchestrating all of this shit for generations to keep their power, to stay in control, to stay ridiculously rich. And also, pagans were free-spirited, free thinkers, and you can't have that when you want to control shit.
Right. And they also created Islam too. They didn't just create they didn't just create Christianity. They also created Islam as a supplement.
Yeah, I know that, Islam came out of it was one guy's interpretation of shit that, just like it always happens, one guy interprets this and this happens, and then another guy interprets that and then that happens, and it turns into all these schisms and all this, and before you know it, you're just living under this oppressive, sacred, frickin' mindset, government / religion. Yeah. Even in America, when they say, well, we're Judeo-Christian blah 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 roots.
Yeah,
I'm like,
why the fuck are we Judeo anything? Like, first of all, like that, it doesn't even make sense. Where were there Jewish founding fathers? Because I don't remember that.
They're trying to be inclusive. Instead of saying Christian, they're trying to say Judeo-Christian to make it more inclusive, which is fine. Whatever. They're all monotheistic liars in my perspective, with love.
But if you follow the logic though of some Jews a long time ago creating Christianity as a means of control, if you start with that premise, then it makes perfect sense that they would refer to us as a Judeo-Christian nation, because they had to insert themselves, because that's the entire premise of the thing.
Well, and they say Abrahamic religions. I mean, same diff, right? But I mean, and completely ignoring the fact that America actually was animistic.
Exactly. We all started here. This is the first religion.
Well,
our books are older than your books.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have books. They were all
we didn't have books. It was all stories.
Yeah, that's why oral tradition is so important. But the Native Americans were animistic. They still are, many of them. And I mean, I don't want to get into the entire population of the world, because I could go there, but I'm not gonna. Can we rewind the video just a little smoochy point, just to kind of get back in the zone?
Okay. We're back.
Okay.
Human world. In countless animistic traditions, trees are among the most revered beings. They are seen not only as life givers, but as living entities with wisdom far beyond human understanding. In Celtic mythology, the oak is a sacred being, a gateway between worlds, often associated with strength, stability, and divine presence. The Druids believed that groves were natural temples, and specific trees were inhabited by spirits that could bless or curse. In Japanese Shinto, massive trees, often marked with a sacred rope called shimenawa, are homes to kami, spiritual presences that can offer protection or demand offerings. These trees are not symbolic of gods. They are gods in their own right, their presence woven into the daily lives of those who pass beneath them. Rivers, too, are central figures in animistic mythology. Flowing across landscapes and time, rivers are seen as living, breathing deities. In India, the Ganges River is not just a source of water. She is Ganga, a goddess descended from the heavens to cleanse sins and carry prayers. Her waters are sacred, and her moods, from gentle trickle to catastrophic flood, are seen as expressions of her will. In African animism, rivers are often home to powerful spirits such as Mami Wata, a complex water goddess venerated in West and Central Africa, as well as the Caribbean. She is both beautiful and dangerous, capable of bestowing wealth or drowning those who disrespect her. These river spirits demand rituals, songs, and offerings, for they do not merely pass through the land, they shape destiny. The sky, in many animistic stories, is not just an expanse of air and stars, but a realm teeming with conscious forces. In Inuit mythology, the aurora borealis is believed to be the spirits of ancestors playing across the heavens. In ancient Polynesian beliefs, the stars were considered navigators, not inanimate guides, but conscious entities assisting sailors across the ocean. Thunder and lightning are often personified. In Yoruba cosmology, Shango, the thunder god, is not a distant celestial being, but a present spirit invoked through drumming and dance. In many Native American traditions, the great thunderbird is a sky being of immense power, whose wings bring storms and whose presence marks spiritual transformation. The sky is not above us. It surrounds us, interacts with us, watches us. Animals hold a sacred status in animistic myths. They are not lesser beings or resources. They are teachers, ancestors, even creators. In the lore of the Haida people of the Pacific Northwest, the raven is a trickster and a creator who brings light to the world, constantly shifting between helping and challenging humanity. In Australian Aboriginal Dreamtime, the rainbow serpent is both a creation force and a water spirit, slithering through the landscape, carving rivers and shaping hills. The serpent is not feared. It is revered, honored in songs and dance for its role in forming the world. Many animistic myths feature shapeshifters, spirits or beings who take animal or hybrid forms to move between the human and spirit realms. In Siberia, the reindeer is not just hunted, it is a vehicle for the soul, a sacred creature that can carry shamans through the dream world. In Andean traditions, the condor and puma are more than animals. They are
Have you ever
cosmic
seen a
forces that
condor?
represent different.
Have you
No.
ever seen? They are fucking huge. I saw one when I went to Peru, and we went to this like animal sanctuary, and they had a condor there, and I was like, holy shit! It is like majestic, but it is huge.
Bigger than an eagle?
Yeah, actually, yes, bigger than, because I've seen an eagle too, and like definitely bigger than an eagle. It was crazy.
The first time I saw a bald eagle, like you know those bird rehab sanctuaries that do shows and stuff. It was like at a Ren fair or something, I think. And it was like, you don't expect to see what you see. They're enormous. They're amazing. And they just sit there like they are in fucking charge. You know, like, wow, that thing could rip the talons bigger than my freaking finger. I mean, whoa.
You know, one of the coolest experiences I had when I was doing all like the political rallies in 2020 was the lobstermen in Maine wanted me to come speak to they were having a rally outside the State House in Maine. And it's like about like 90 minutes, 2-hour drive away from me. And so I was like, okay, well, let's go up to Maine for the weekend and it'll be fun and all this stuff. And they paid me in lobster. They were going to give me live lobster that they caught that way. And I was like, I'm not killing a lobster, bro. I appreciate it, but I'm not killing. And so they showed up and they had steamed it for me, and it was so good. Aww. And it was like candy anyway, but like, so I'm giving this speech just like rah USA whatever in this parking lot. I got all these people standing around me. It's on video somewhere, and then all of a sudden an eagle starts circling me, and everyone's just like, oh, and I was like, this is the most American thing that's ever happened to me. An eagle, and I have this on video somewhere, an eagle is circling me as I'm giving a political speech. Like, that's crazy.
Oh my god, was that the one? Because I remember like your old intro videos. You had one where you're standing on a stage, like, I'm Dr. Karlyn Borysenko.
Oh no, I don't think not that one. I have it on the YouTube channel somewhere. I'm literally just like standing in a parking lot, and Victor was taking the video, and when he went up, he got the eagle circling and everything.
Nice,
it was crazy.
Levels of existence, revered in the rituals of the Inca, and still present in indigenous beliefs today. What ties all these stories together is the animistic truth that spirit is not restricted to one form. It moves through tree and storm, through feather and fang. Myths provide a structure for humans to understand the invisible forces shaping their world. They teach people how to act, not just toward each other, but toward the land, the animals, the weather, the spirits that share space with them. A myth about a river spirit that punishes greed isn't just a tale. It's a reminder to honor the water, to never take more than is needed. A story of a talking animal isn't fantasy. It is a cultural memory of a time when communication with nature was commonplace. These stories are still alive. In many parts of the world, people still leave offerings at sacred springs, still whisper to the trees, still see the fox in their path as a messenger, not a coincidence. Animistic mythology survives not because it is preserved in books, but because it is practiced, lived, told, and believed. It evolves with the people, adapting to new landscapes, languages, and experiences, but always carrying the same message, that the world is not inert, it is conscious, it is listening. In the tapestry of human myth, animism provides the oldest threads, vibrant, primal, and deeply connected to the earth. These myths remind us that our ancestors didn't believe they lived above nature. They believed they lived within it, surrounded by voices, watched by eyes, and guided by stories older than time. Many assume animism is a relic, a worldview fossilized in ancient times, buried beneath layers of civilization and science. But animism is not dead. In fact, it is quietly experiencing a powerful rebirth. Across the globe, people are returning to the roots of a world they intuitively feel is alive. Through New Age spirituality, the rise of ecological consciousness, and the resurgence of indigenous voices, animism is re-emerging, not as a forgotten religion, but as a living language that speaks to the soul of a planet in crisis. In the realm of New Age spirituality, animistic ideas are woven throughout modern practices. Crystal healing, energy cleansing, astrology, and plant medicine all operate on animistic principles. The belief that objects and elements contain unique energies, personalities, and wisdom. People speak of the vibration of stones, the spirit of plants, the messages hidden in dreams. These ideas might appear modern on the surface, but their roots stretch deep into ancient animistic frameworks. When someone smudges their space with sage or...
I don't know how people can have the idea that crystals are a modern thing. Crystals are rocks. They are literal rocks. They're rocks that have been created over the course of... I have like my crystal that I wear around my neck all the time is Numite. That thing's like over 1,000 years old. Like it's not like it's an old ass rock. And you want to tell me what's that?
This is just a quartz, but I mean it's minerals, right? I like to think of crystals as like, well, it's water dripping through stone and concentrating minerals.
Yeah.
It's almost like ice, it's like concentrate, but it's a mineral. It's like a solid state of water, even though it's not water, but that's just kind of how my mind thinks about it. And, but it's, they've been around before we were here. And as we've been talking about, especially with animism here, everything has energy and vibration. They've measured it. They've measured it in crystals. They've measured it in plants, animals, human beings, auras, the whole thing. It is all real, and that is scientific. So the fact that they're saying we're metaphysical, it's actually the most physical thing there is energy fields and minerals.
Yep. And I mean, if you don't think you can feel like energy too, like I can feel the energy in crystals, some more pronounced than others, but just go to a crystal store and ask them for like a shugite crystal at some point. Put that in your hand and just close your hand around it. You will feel shugite. I promise you. It's very black. It's very dense. Have you used that crystal? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The dark stones. No, I haven't. I think I love obsidian. And
I don't like obsidian as much, but Numite is my crystal.
Okay. Yeah, and I love hematite. That's my favorite.
But shugite is crazy. You will feel all energized if you will feel it, I promise you.
Nice.
Talks about the spirit of the moon influencing emotions. They are participating, knowingly or not, in a form of neo-animism, one that blends old beliefs with new insights. It's a movement not bound by dogma, but driven by experience and intuition. often emphasizing personal connection with the natural world over formal rituals. Environmentalism, too, has become a new vessel for animistic thought.
No, it hasn't.
In a world
No,
increasingly
wrong.
threatened by
Environmentalism,
ecological collapse,
no,
Yeah.
don't
people
do
are
it.
turning
Don't
to
get woke.
spiritual
Don't
systems
do it.
that
Oh,
emphasize
come on.
interdependence, respect, and
We
reverence
hit
for the earth.
communism. We found communism.
All about the
Animism offers a
natures.
radically different
Oh
ethic
my God, they're
than the
protesting in the
industrial,
video.
mechanistic view
They
of the
are.
planet
Not fair.
as a resource to exploit. It invites us to see
I've
nature
never
not
seen
as property, but as kin.
environmental
Forests are not
protester
just
hold a
ecosystems.
sign up for Gaia.
They are
or the
communities
I
water
know.
of
spirit.
beings.
Exactly.
Rivers are not pipelines. They are ancestors. This shift is not just philosophical, it's political and urgent. Movements for climate
Urgent.
justice often echo animistic principles when they advocate for the rights of nature, legal
See, look at
frameworks
this.
that recognize
Look at this. Look what Amalek's saying. So we're not going to talk about what the NSDAP is. Don't worry about that. But they're writing about witches and werewolves. They're trying to start scientific astrology. In their view, witch burnings were the Judeo-Christian destruction of white women. What do you think about that idea, Jennifer? That the witch burnings were the destruction of white women by the Jews and Christians?
No, I disagree with that.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do, because most of the witches that were targeted, some of it was to appease the ignorant folk of the town, because it was all trickling down to them, and so now they're paranoid and they're just reacting. I mean, see the Salem witch trials as a perfect example, but also as far as, especially in Europe, a lot of the witches or people tortured and burned, including some men, were done so by the Spanish Inquisition and various other torture societies of the Middle Ages to acquire the land. They went after widows. They went after anybody who practiced with herbs, because they would get their money, they would get their land, because when they died, because they were a witch, the rights to their property were stripped from their children. So it would go to the church.
Oh.
And the church actually acquired masses and masses of land.
Well, wouldn't that be destruction of white women for the benefit of the Judeo-Christians? Wouldn't that fit right into it?
The only reason they were white is because it was in Europe and America that this was happening. It wasn't like they weren't doing this in Africa. They weren't doing it in China. They were doing it in Europe. That's where white women live. That's
To be fair, they were doing other things in Africa that were probably far worse than the witch burnings. Like, I don't know, like cannibalism and stuff. I don't know.
Oh, no, not the Catholic Church, but they're probably eating the Catholics down there.
Yeah.
Which is fine, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
No, they were doing it in Europe. They weren't doing it. So that's where the white women are. I wouldn't get attached to the white women narrative that we see in today's politics when it's concerning the witch burnings.
Fair enough. Daniel says, pardon the interruption. I'm hours behind. You're talking about typical Pisces. I'm curious what a typical Leo is like or action. Okay, so Leo is the lion, and Leo can be fun and exciting and nice and cuddly, and Leo can also be stubborn. Like, Leo can be one stubborn son of a bitch if he doesn't want to do something, but he can be entertaining and he like bigger than life, and like the total, like Nick Fuentes is a Leo. You can actually see
You can tell. Yeah.
Like Leos look like lions.
Yeah.
They
have a robust face.
Yeah.
Leos also are egotistical. They are the king. The king, like a lion rules its pride, right? So the lion is strutting. It has first call for all the ladies. It is in fucking control. It is, hot to trot. And Leos know that their egos are huge. And the way to hurt a Leo, ask me how I know, is to insult if they're a man, their masculinity. If they're a woman, you insult their ability to handle their home or business, because or their social life. They're very social as well. But they do love their home time. They're they love crowds. They'll do the parties, but they do love their home time because they are kitties. They do want to snuggle. But I mean, they are very prideful and very controlling. And these are not necessarily bad traits. Some other traits in the zodiac need that to help them manage their own shit, like Pisces, because they might need a Leo to help to tell them what to do, although they may flip around a little. But Leos they're wonderful friends. They're fiercely devoted. But they are king, and you have to always come with from a place of respect with them. And one thing that I clash with them a little, because I'm a Capricorn. We're obviously the best. We know this. We're perfectionists. We know everything. You don't. No, I'm kidding. That's the Aries. But
Aries are number one. Okay, we are number one. We are always in the lead. We are always the best. Whatever.
I'll let you think that. So
Okay.
then, but Leos. So the thing with Leos and Capricorns, they're very cranial. They interact very well in cranial ways and intellectual discussions. I've heard they're very well matched romantically as well. But the problem with Zodiac, with Aries, Capricorns, Leos, Scorpios, they are very, we're hierarchy. We know that, and all four of us. And so to come to some sort of good relationship, somebody has to take the lead sometimes, and somebody has to come down, and that's very difficult for all of those signs. But if you find a way to do it, you can. And I have one of my two of my very, very, very closest, close friends are both Leos, married. And they find a way to balance it because they understand each other completely. And when he needs to be top dog, she lets him. When she needs top dog, he lets her. That's healthy Leo behavior. So anyway, that was a long explanation.
You know what? I find actually that I get along really well with Leo men because I'm a Leo moon. And so I'm like the feminine version of Leo, whereas like Leo men are like obviously the masculine version of Leo. And so I find that I get along really well because it's kind of like, I have no problem usually deferring to them and just being like, I'm just going to like hang out and have fun and like whatever. And you can cuddle or whatever you want to do. But we're just going to hang out and I'm not going to try to be in charge or nothing.
Yeah, I have a hard time with unhealthy Leos because I don't like their dominance fucking thing that they go through, and I just can't handle that. But most healthy Leos are just wonderful, devoted, loving, fun, good friends, good partners. Leos are great.
Look at Amalek. I'm a Sun Libra, Moon Aries. Okay, so this is why we get along, Amalek, because we have Aries in common.
No, Aries is your relationship stuff, though. That's how he relates to his heart, is in the moon.
Well,
so he's a controlling lover.
Well, he's a Scorpio rising too, so that's a whole other thing.
Oh, hey, baby. Hey, me too. I'm a Scorpio rising as well. Libras are wonderful. They're very balanced. They do love to be right.
I'm a Libra rising, so the Libra rising balances it. This is why I'm not like.
That's why you pick fights all the time.
I can be yes, but it also balances out the Aries where I can actually rein it in sometimes if I want to. I don't always want to rein it in, but if I want, I can if I want to.
See, Amalek, that's typical Libra. Well, I am right. My husband's a Libra. Oh Lord, I feel really bad because I forgot. He's a cusp. He's a Libra Virgo cusp. That's what he is. So he's always right, and he also is willing to acquiesce when I need to be right, which is helpful.
Good man.
I'm always right.
Yep. As a Capricorn. Yep. I understand.
Yeah, but I'm not forceful about it. I'm very passive. I've mastered passive aggression. Being Italian, it's something you grow up understanding.
I fucking hate passive aggression, though, Jennifer. I'm so sick of passive aggression. You know who else does passive aggressive? Fucking Pisces. Fucking Pisces with their fucking swimming around, never making a goddamn decision, giving me the silent treatment for months because he doesn't want to admit he's wrong.
I never do passive aggressive stuff with my friends ever. I only use it on my family and my husband. It's because I'm sorry. Every now and then I'm like, okay, fine. But I'll catch myself. I'm like, oh, I hate, because I don't like it either. I don't like passive aggressive stuff. Every now and then, though, that Italian just and I'm like, okay.
I would lean into the Italian. Can you imagine how fiery Nick gets? He's an Italian and a Leo.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
This is why
I've seen, yeah.
Yeah. He told Candace Owens to sit down and shut the fuck up and make him a sandwich the other time. I was like,
I started watching her interview of him. I didn't finish it.
It was bad.
She like, I have a, oh God, I feel like we've gone way off script here, but I feel like I have this like hard love-hate relationship with her. Like there are times I'm like, oh, right on with her. And then there, like when she was talking about how the French Macron, president of France, wife is actually his father, trans. And I was like, this is the most epic thing I've ever seen. But then, now she can do that with Michelle Obama. My hat is off. But
I don't like her at all, but I think she's 100% right about Brigitte Macron.
Yeah, I don't like her personally, but I like some of the stuff she goes after, and I'm good with it.
Man.
Rivers, mountains, and forests as living entities with legal standing. The Wanganui River in New Zealand, for instance, now holds legal personhood, a victory made possible by the Maori people, whose spiritual understanding of the river shaped legal action. These changes reflect a global longing to repair humanity's broken relationship with the earth, to return in some form to a world that is alive. Perhaps the most profound expression of modern animism comes through the resurgence of indigenous traditions. For centuries, colonization and religious conversion attempted to erase animistic beliefs, branding them as primitive or demonic. Sacred lands were seized, rituals were banned, and ancestral stories were silenced. But today, from the Andes to the Arctic, from Aboriginal Australia to the plains of Africa, indigenous peoples are reclaiming their spiritual heritage. Young leaders are reviving the songs, languages, ceremonies, and cosmologies that kept their cultures alive for millennia. Animism is not a trend to them. It is their identity, their lineage, their resistance.
Oh, I gotta turn on power chat?
For many,
Sorry.
this resurgence is not only about cultural pride, but survival. For the wisdom held in animistic traditions may be crucial to guiding humanity
someone sent a power
through
chat,
an
apparently.
age of climate
Hang on.
disruption
What is that
and
from?
spiritual
It's like a
fragmentation.
super chat.
Modern
The
animism
Rumble?
does not seek to recreate
that's
the
a Rumble
past
chat.
It's separate.
exactly as it was. It recognizes
It's
that
separate.
we
I
live
just
in
don't. I don't have power chat up all the time. I apologize. Hey, thank you, Mio. Oh, okay. So, they tried to send me a power chat when Mio was streaming about me. Mio is very mad at you. Well done. He's choking back tears. Oh no, I pissed off Mio. Well, Mio's gonna have to survive. I don't know. I'll have to watch that episode. Hey, thanks, A-Log, for the power chat. I apologize for not having that up.
in a different world, one filled with cities,
You just be
satellites,
pissing
and
everybody
digital
off today,
networks.
Karlyn.
Yet even here, animism adapts.
Oh, we're doing a palate
A
cleanser.
smartphone
Okay,
can be treated
Yeah.
with respect.
I got it.
A city park can be honored as a spirit refuge. The sacred is not limited to the remote or untouched. It lives in any space where presence is recognized. As people rewild their minds and re-enchant their lives,
Rewild your
animism
mind.
becomes not just a belief, but a practice of attention, a willingness to see the world not as silent, but as singing. In today's fractured world, the return of animistic thinking may be one of the most healing forces we have. It restores wonder, it rebuilds relationship, and it reminds us that even in an age of concrete and code, the spirit has never stopped speaking. We only stopped listening. Animism is often misunderstood as simplistic, a patchwork of primitive superstitions meant to explain the unexplainable. But when examined closely, it reveals one of the most profound and poetic philosophical frameworks humanity has ever conceived. At its heart, animism offers a vision of the universe that is relational, participatory, and deeply symbolic. It asks not just how the world works, but how we are meant to live within it. In animistic thought, every aspect of reality is interconnected, and nothing exists in isolation. Life, death, and consciousness are not separate events or properties, but expressions of the
So I
same
just had a
living
thought.
current that
Oh.
flows through all
Go ahead.
He was just talking about how like animism isn't about how life works, but how you work within it. And I thought that's really beautiful. And I think that's something else that a lot of monotheistic belief systems ruin is they try to tell you what your purpose is, what you're supposed to do. They give you the rules, they give you the lineup. Here's where you fall morally, here's where sins are, here's all the things. And they give you this giant list of stuff when all really I think God or divine wants us to do is exist, is to enjoy the gifts of the physical body that we have and the gifts of the world that we live in, and to be as one with it as we can, and not worrying about all this rule shit. I mean, just exist, just be part of it. You are part of it. We forget we are animals. We just happen to be a little too smart for our own good. But we are animals, just like the little wily fox and the crafty raccoon. Like they're our brethren, you know.
I mean, and people end up creating even separate from like I feel like once people get involved with religion and they get used to having all these rules set for them, they start creating more rules on top of those other rules, and then they keep themselves bound within a prison of like the rules that they've made, where like no one told you had to do it that way. Like really, you can try something else, you can change it. This is like the Eight of Swords card in the tarot with the woman who has the blindfold and she's surrounded by all the swords, but if you actually look at it, she's not actually surrounded by swords, and she could literally just take the blindfold off if she wanted to. She's in a prison of her own making. She could leave at any time. And it's like when people start thinking about all these different rules and putting all these restrictions on themselves, it's like, how many possibilities are you eliminating that you really don't have to? You're not doing anything wrong. You're not putting anyone in danger. You're not going to hurt anyone by doing it differently. You can just do it differently.
Or just exist. Don't worry about how to do it at all. Just be part of the natural flow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that a little like super hippie woo-woo? Yeah. But to have moments like that, I think really help ground us.
Yeah, I agree.
And by the way, Amalek said he has to do some racist yoga.
Yeah, Amalek's very racist. He's a proud racist. Yeah, he is. I'm not joking. No, I do actually. He'll tell you he's very racist. Yes, he is very racist, Jennifer. I adore him.
It's always the cute ones.
He's very racist.
That's the racist yoga thing. I'm like, I wonder what this. No, I don't want to know. What I want to know is, I shouldn't probably say that actually.
you say it, it's okay. We can disavow you or something.
Well, does racist yoga include naked? Because I would think you'd be very proud of your skin. So
are we talking about like
buff?
Oh, come on, Jennifer. Are you gonna write a romantic fiction about erotic fiction about like men doing naked yoga now or something?
I may. I fucking might, Karlyn. Don't give me more ideas. I cannot write right now because I'm packing to move across the country, and I won't be able to start writing again until like fucking October. So don't give me ideas about naked yoga.
You could have a story. You could have a story about how a woman meets this racist guy in her yoga class.
No racism. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. No.
But she sets him straight, Jennifer. She sets him straight.
I was told by several gay men it's always forward, never straight.
Well, I guess so. That's probably true.
She sets him forward.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like he's doing like the swastika pose.
Listen, this show is going to inspire dozens of erotic fictions. I can tell you. Like we've already gotten one done. We already have one erotic fiction in honor of the show.
We do. And it's going to be published. I am pushing it back because I've got a big art campaign coming up. So it's probably not going to be live until next week. But anyway, I feel like we've completely lost the entire beat of this poor show. Okay. Oh, bless. Anyway.
Things. To the animist, life is not restricted to the biological. A being does not need blood or breath to be considered alive. A stone can have presence. A river can carry emotion. A mountain can hold memory. Life is defined not by function, but by relationship. If something can be communicated with, if it can influence or respond, then it lives. This understanding collapses the human-centered view of consciousness. We are not the pinnacle of awareness, but participants in a vast web of sentience that includes trees, stars, clouds, and dreams. Even silence is considered a form of communication. A pause that holds meaning, a breath that speaks without words. Death in animism is not the end of existence,
I'll be right
but a
back.
transformation.
All right.
It is a doorway, not a wall. When a person dies, their spirit does not vanish, it changes form. It may return to the land, rejoin the ancestors, or inhabit another shape, a bird, a tree, a breeze. The soul is not bound to a body or a single lifetime. It is fluid, cyclical, and eternal. Death
I'm gonna
is
tell her
not
this.
feared in the same way it is in materialist cultures. It is respected, mourned, and ritually acknowledged, but never
Mio's
seen as
blocking
annihilation.
me? What the
Funerals
fuck?
are not just for
Mio
saying goodbye,
blocked me?
but for guiding the spirit into its next state of being, and for maintaining the connection between the living and the
I've
dead.
gone completely off the rails
As
with
for
this show now.
consciousness,
he
animism
actually
sees
block
it
me?
not as a rare spark confined to human minds,
He did
but as
block
the very
me!
fabric of the universe.
Mio fucking blocked me! Mio fucking blocked me! You know what? Every time they cry, every single time they cry, I just get more and more committed to Adam Green. You know what? Adam Green wasn't upset with me when I stopped talking to him because of the whole thing. Adam Green was never upset with me. We were never rude to each other. He never had a meltdown on the internet. Adam Green never cared that I didn't follow him around all the time and do all his stuff. They knew I wasn't a fucking Christian. I'm so confused about this. How did they not understand that I am not a Christian? I've never been a Christian. And I'm sorry, Adam Green looks like a fucking Viking. And I don't even know what Mio looks like. Mio blocked me, Jennifer. Mio blocked me on Twitter.
I'm not sure I know who Neo is.
Mio, Mio has blocked me on Twitter because he's upset that I took Adam Green's side over the Groypers, and I'm just like, man, some forgiveness, Christian, some forgiveness.
You can't have your own opinion, Karlyn. This is the problem I have with extremists.
This is why I had to put the Groypers in their place to begin with. It's like they had to have the law laid down for them to say, you don't get to dictate what I say and do on the internet, Groypers. You don't get to dictate. I'm allowed to shit talk Christianity if I want to. And you can have feelings about that all you want, but I'm not changing my spiritual beliefs for your feelings.
Yeah, let's a little bit of call the wambulance.
Yeah, the wambulance. Yeah, exactly. Cry harder, Mio. I don't care.
Consciousness is not a possession. It is a field. It exists within and around everything. The boundary between self and other is porous. When you listen to a river or speak to a fire, you are not engaging in fantasy. You are participating in a conscious dialogue that reflects a deeper truth, that the world is aware, responsive, and alive. When we look at the world through the lens of animism, everything changes. The tree outside your window is no longer just wood and leaf. It is a presence. The wind is no longer just weather. It is a whisper. The earth beneath your feet is not merely ground. It is a body, an elder, a memory. Animism doesn't ask you to believe in anything abstract or unreachable. It invites you to notice what is already here. It's not a religion that pulls you away from the world. It's a return, a remembering of how to live in relationship with everything that surrounds you. Throughout history, we've built towers and temples, written scriptures and sermons in search of the divine. But animism reminds us that the sacred is not only above us, it is beside us, beneath us, and within us. The bird's call, the shadow of a passing cloud, the warmth of firelight on skin, all of these are not just parts of the natural world. They are moments of connection with spirit. And in a time when so much feels fragmented and hollow, animism offers wholeness. It teaches that the universe is not empty or random, but full of story, meaning, and companionship. This belief system, as ancient as the first breath of language, continues to guide people not because it explains everything, but because it connects everything. It shows us a way to walk gently, to speak carefully, to listen deeply. In the animistic world, there is no such thing as just a tree or just a rock or just an animal. There are no its, there are only thous. Everything is a you. We live in a world that often forgets this. a world that rushes, consumes, and dominates. But animism asks us to slow down, to notice, to enter into dialogue. It doesn't demand obedience, it asks for relationship. It doesn't offer salvation in some other world. It reveals the sacredness of this one. And maybe, just maybe, in that recognition lies the path not only to spiritual healing, but to planetary survival. So the next time you hear the wind rustle through the trees, or catch a bird's eye for a flicker of a moment, pause. Consider the possibility that something ancient and wise is looking back at you, that the world is not silent, it's singing, and it always has been.
See, I feel much more vindicated in my spiritual beliefs now. I feel better about this. Not that I didn't feel fine before about everything I believe, but anyway, what are you laughing at? You're muted. What?
Sorry. I'm not going to say why I was looking at YouTube, but I was looking at YouTube for a thing. And actually, I wanted to see, okay, here's why. I wanted to know how many people were watching. So I was going to look at our stream and see how many people were watching because I was just curious. And I came across...
What?
This whole fucking show has gotten completely derailed so many times.
Is this link you sent me?
No, that is actually beautifully on point with how energy affects us and has to do with summing up this video that we watched. But
what did you just see though?
I just saw a short. World leaders reimagined as babies. And
I've seen that. Hang on. Sorry. Go ahead. I've seen that.
It is so fucking hilarious. I was like, that's why I'm like, oh, why am I'll just click on this because I'm easily distracted.
I want a video about that chart. Can we find a short video about that chart?
Oh, well, I have I don't know. The only one I found was like 2 hours long, but
all right, maybe we do the 2 hour video. No, we can do that another time. Like, yeah. I do actually want to watch a video about that chart. Maybe we'll do that next week. Maybe I'll do the 2 hour video about the chart.
Yeah, I can send it to you. It's in my history.
I legitimately want to watch that though. I think a journey through that chart would actually be pretty fascinating.
I agree.
So that would be good. So what is this flower video that you just sent me, Jennifer?
This is a palate cleanser because someone in the chat earlier had talked about the work of Masaru Emoto. He is a Japanese scientist who looks at water crystals. And what he does is he will take little bottles of water and he will either speak to them or put a label on them. And he will and it's always one form of energy. Love. Friends,
did he do the rice thing?
Anger. Huh?
Did he do the rice experiment?
I'm not sure about the rice experiment.
It's exactly like the water crystals, except it's like jars of rice, but one says love and one says hate, and then you kind of put them aside and you like feed the love one love and you feed the hate one hate and anger and all that stuff, and you see what happens to the rice. It's gonna be kind of the same thing.
Yeah, very possibly. So
yeah.
This is about, so since we are talking about animism and we're talking about how pretty much the basis of that is energy and spirit. Everything is alive. And I mean, this is how I know I'm a natural witch, because when I was a very small child, I could feel the vibes from trees and plants and creatures and, animals and stuff, animals, people, even places, houses, just various places. You could just feel the vibe. I've always been very empathic. And so, as I was growing up in that weird church, I just knew I shouldn't talk about it, because anytime I tried to, my friends are like, "You're weird."
Yeah, like
then, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that's weird. Or it's the devil. If trees are talking to you, it's the devil. So don't. Everything is the devil, and so they try to put you in this little box, thing, and I just never lived in that world. For some reason, something inside me kept it separate. There's my Christian church self, and then there was my spirit animal, animism, witchy person that just knew better. And I let them be separate until I finally left the Christian shit behind and embraced the spiritual stuff. So this talks about, so if you say like, well, it's not scientific, it's woo, fuck you. This is how we know it is scientific. Energy, vibes, intention, effect, matter all the time. Here you go.
As to the work of Japanese researcher Mr. Masaru Emoto from his book, The Message from Water. Mr. Emoto's work provides factual evidence that human vibrational energy, thoughts, words, ideas, and music affect the molecular structure of water. Please remember that water comprises over 70% of a mature human body and covers the same
70%
amount
of you
on our
absorbs
planet.
this.
Water is the very source of all life. This photo shows the beautifully formed geometric design of the Yushi Spring water. This next photo is from the Shimanto River, the last clean spring in Japan. Notice the extraordinary geometric
That's
forms.
so pretty.
The fact that the molecular structure of water can be affected by our consciousness, our intent, and our sounds is extremely important. This photo is from the Mount Cook Glacier in New Zealand. Mr. Emoto has been visually documenting these molecular changes in water by means of his photographic techniques. He freezes droplets of water, then examines them under a dark field microscope that has photographic capabilities. His work clearly demonstrates the diversity of the molecular structure of water and the effects of the environment upon the structure of the water. This photo is from the fountain in Lourdes, France.
You know that big fountain in France with all the little squashy horses, I think?
It's from contaminated water from the
Ugh.
Yodo River in Japan.
Wow.
In this photo, we can compare the contaminated water with clean
It looks like an alien.
stream water.
Yeah.
Look at the difference.
What are you putting in your body?
Mr. Emoto decided to see what effects music would have upon the structure of water. He placed distilled water between two speakers for several hours while playing different music and then photographing the crystals that formed after the water was frozen. This photo is of water being exposed to Beethoven's Pastorale.
Wow.
This photo is the effect of Bach's Air for the G-string on the water.
G-string, sorry.
This photo is water exposed to Chopin's Farewell Song.
Cool.
Wow.
This next photo is water being exposed and affected to music that was designed for healing. This photo is of water being exposed to the Kawachi folk dance. This photo shows the effect of heavy metal music upon the water.
Wow.
Here now we can compare the effects of healing versus heavy metal music and
It's
what
still symmetrical.
happens to the water molecules.
Remember, this is happening in your body, too.
Mr. Emoto decided to see how thoughts and words affected the formation of untreated distilled water crystals by typing words onto paper and then taping this paper onto glass bottles overnight. This photo shows the effects of the words, "thank you." This next photo shows the effects of the words, "love" and "appreciation."
How intricate that is.
This photo shows the effects of the words, "you make me sick.
It looks like an
I'll
elephant.
kill you."
No, I think it looks like a man with a bat. I don't know.
And here
Oh,
we
it
can
does look a
compare
little
the
bit like
effects
that.
of "thank you" with the "you make me sick. I will kill you."
That's crazy.
Very, very different geometric forms being occurred through the intention. Now this photo is of a very polluted and toxic water from the Fujiwara Dam. Here now is the same water from the Fujiwara Dam after a Buddhist monk had offered a prayer over it.
Oh,
Prayer,
Wow.
that sound coupled with intention, seems to have an extraordinary ability of restoring water to its natural, harmonious, geometric symmetry. And in this photo, we can compare the toxic water and then the effects of praying over the water.
Oh, That's it. That's all the video. The video cut off. Well, Jennifer, that's why when I yell at people on the internet, I always yell with love. I want them to be better. It's with positive intention. I might be yelling, but I'm doing it from a good place.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be hit over the head. They will thank me for it later. I've had many people thank me for yelling at them.
You're ruining the water in their body, though.
I'm not, though, because I'm doing it with love. The intention is with love. I'm not doing it with anger or hatred. The intention is I need to wake you up now, and if I have to hit you in the head a couple times to wake you up to get you to pay attention, then I'm going to do it. But you're going to appreciate it later, and I know that because I'm doing it with love. So there's no polluted water.
So what we need is a bottle where you say you're stupid with love. And see what those crystals look like.
I think the intention does matter, though, because like if you're yelling, like, because I don't call people. Well, sometimes I call them retards. I mean, I guess what does a water crystal look like after you call it a retard?
I don't know. I mean, he might have. I don't know if he did that experiment. There's tons of stuff you can find of his water crystal pictures. There's coffee table books, and stuff. But I just find it really fascinating. And what's most important is that, as we're made up of 70% water, if someone is constantly abusing you or telling you you're bad or telling you you're wrong, that is affecting the molecular structure of your own body. And so there are people that get sick or they're telling it to themselves. But a lot of people who are sick, or just constantly ill over and over again, or they develop a disease or something awful happens that seems random, not a genetic thing, that's different. But it could be because of how they're thinking about themselves, or how people are constantly telling them how stupid and dumb they are. Abused children, abused people. But when you fill them with love, like how healthy and beautiful those molecules look, those crystals. So there's something to be said for how we speak to each other and how we speak to ourselves. Because I can put like love on I can like tattoo love on my chest, which is going to help. But if I don't believe it, if my energy is saying that's a lie, I'm still going to be sick, That's
what I'm saying. It's about the intention.
Yeah, no, I agree. And so if your intention is to do harm, or your intention is to do good, which I think your intention, I don't think you've ever, I think maybe a couple times you intended to do harm. I've seen
maybe every once or twice I've tried to trigger someone to make them feel shame and embarrassment and all the wrong thing, and feel like they're the lowest person, because sometimes people want that, Jennifer. When I have to yell at people like that, I have to make the assumption that they've come into the chat to provoke me in some way, and they're doing it for a reason.
Well, they just want to be spanked by the mistress.
I really do think that is actually true for some people. I think some people, especially the woman that comes here with 4 fucking different accounts this woman had today. 4 different accounts. And I'm like, you're telling me that you don't have a humiliation fetish? I mean, I beg to differ.
Yes, a humiliation fetish. Ugh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yes, mister, may I have another?
Yeah. Well, that was a great episode. I learned a lot. I feel very validated and vindicated, and know that I'm correct and the Christians are wrong, and so that makes me happy. And so, I think it's a feel good episode for everyone.
I think this is why I like how I tell the difference between Christians that I like and Christians that I don't like, and not just them, but also Muslims, because I've met nice Muslims and not so nice Muslims, and Jews too. I like all the things and stuff. I even knew a Scientologist once. But I think what it is if they have that respect and love for spirit and energy, which can be found in every religion, I find that they're the good ones. It's the ones that give into the physical part, the cranial part of the religion, that I can't deal with. That they get too judgmental. They get too up in the Jesus and the scriptures and the this and the that and their rules. And that I can't embrace that. I just get go with love. This is your path. I respect what you're doing because you're here struggling on this earth just like me and everybody else. But I can't be with you. So yeah. If you have that respect of energy and nature, we can get down at all times. So I can always be your friend.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about the situation with the Groypers. It's like, listen, I never cared that you guys were Catholic. I never cared that you guys were Christian. What I cared about is you trying to tell me what to do and telling me what I could and could not say about Christianity. We could have just done live and let live, and you understand my position, and I understand yours, and we find other areas to relate on that we don't actually have to talk about religion. We really don't. But like when you guys are going to be assholes on the internet and fill my feed with all sorts of very un-Christ-like comments, I will say. I don't think that Christ would be saying the things that were showing up in my replies for the last couple of days. I just don't think so. That doesn't make sense. But they're doing very un-Christ-like things to try to prove their Christianity to me. And it's just like, no, it doesn't need to be this way. It doesn't. I will go over with the anti-Christians and you whining. And it didn't need to be this way. We could have all just coexisted as Jesus probably would have wanted, but no.
I think sometimes people get caught up too much in being soldiers for Christ instead of being Christ-like and emulating Christ. And, you know, whether or not Jesus actually existed, I think he did. But I think his message got way skewed. Again, just like every good thing does, people get in control and they go, how can I use the popular idea to sway people and get them on my side? Well, there you go. Big religion, yada, yada.
Yeah,
but
I think Jesus existed too. By the way, Adam Green still has not convinced me that Jesus did not actually exist. He's working very hard on it, but I think what happened is I think there was a Jesus figure, and I think like it was a real person and just got like many things covered in a mound of convenient narrative to push a false religion.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what happened several hundred years after he died. The Council of, I think it's Nicaea. I may be saying that. I may be misremembering, but there's I don't know why I got that word stuck in my head, but for some reason I feel like that's the wrong word. But there's any kind of manipulation of any kind of wise guru. You know, it happens constantly. What is it? Confucius, I think, wasn't Confucius one of the big influencers of Mao Zedong? I mean, like you can take any words of wisdom and warp them into your own issue.
Religion.
Yeah. Or your slaughter of humanity. Genghis Khan thought he was a holy man. I mean, every holy man is a conqueror for some reason. God's on my side or whatever deity is on my side. And I think that's why I love the simplicity when you drop big religion and you just get into the simplicity of the human experience with energy and with connectivity. You don't have any of this evil, struggle, pain, rape, murder, all the stuff. It's not there because you're not trying to control anything. You just allow the experience to be. That's
I agree.
I agree.
Good night. We are right and everyone else is wrong. And I think that's the best way to end the night. Jennifer, do you have any announcements or anything?
I do. We got movie night coming up, looking at Patriotic July, which I am actually I meant to do this before we started tonight and I forgot all about it. It's been a crazy day. I actually had to go through. Okay, so Karlyn, I bought my new trailer that
I know. I saw it. It's crazy nice. I saw the pictures on Facebook.
And that's right. Yeah, it's beautiful. I have not been inside of it. It is in Orange Park, Florida, which is near Jacksonville. I guess they're kind of simpatico. And we have friends that live in Florida who are going to go pick it up for us. But I've been trying to remote buy this thing. I just had a stack of papers, 94 pages.
Wow.
To get this together. And my husband and I have to get up early tomorrow and hit a notary before he goes to work so we can get it notarized. I can ship it off overnight. Hopefully it'll all be jelly by the time my friends go try and pick it up this weekend. We have friends in Pensacola who are going to go get it for us. So I've been very mentally distracted and I totally forgot to put up the movie night poll. So I will do it as soon as we're done here. We're going to have a poll of Dave, The Postman, Platoon, and Saving Private Ryan. We're going to do a runoff. So whatever gets voted in, I will then post a poll with the remaining 3 for the following last weekend of July. I'll be posting that in Karlyn's member Discord. So do join up because you can vote in polls. You can join in conversations. Are you guys still doing zines, right? And all that.
Yeah, I want to do a zine at some point. Yeah, we're going to do our own anti-communist zine.
Yeah, you guys have a lot going on in there. And there's a writing group in there. I mean, there's all kinds of cool, fun stuff going in there. And of course, movie night hosted by moi on every Sunday at 8 Eastern. And then I forgot Mac. Oh my God. I didn't mean to forget you, Mac. Mac hosts our movie nights on Mondays. And he's doing James Bond July, I believe. I'm just trying to get down to July. Here we go. It looks like Goldfinger.
I've never seen Goldfinger, actually.
Oh, I think that's one of the ones I think that's the main one that Austin Powers is based off of, because I think that's the guy with the bald head and the kitty. I think is Goldfinger. No, maybe that was Dr. No, I think it was Dr. No. Well, I don't know. Well, anyway, whatever. Cool. I'm not an aficionado on James Bond, but I know a lot about the nerd shit. So show up on Sunday night where I'll spin my mad nerd facts and get you in the mood with some music, and we'll chit chat and talk as we watch the movie. And as always, we get the updates, the first news breaks of the week from Karlyn on Sunday. So make sure you're there.
Real. If you want the real tea, you got to come to movie nights on Sundays, because I just don't hold back. I say, here's what's going on, and here's everything, and here's all the secrets that you probably don't post this anywhere on the internet. So if you really want the tea, definitely come to movie nights. We do them on Sundays at 8 p.m. hosted by Jennifer. We do them Mondays at 9 p.m. hosted by Mac B. Appreciate you guys doing that, and we'll be looking forward to the movie night this weekend. Make sure you vote in Jennifer's poll. And I'm not going to try to sway the voting. I'm just gonna show up and vote just like everyone else, I guess. Whatever.
Just vote. Yeah.
I never get my way. It's never a movie that I want to watch.
So fucking
I never cajole Jennifer into switching the movie into something that I want to watch, because I don't want to watch whatever she wanted to watch.
When the people speak, I play what the people want. It is out of my control. We're an independent republic with democratic elements, Karlyn.
It's my Discord. All right. That's all we have. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week. And take care, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.